What is good, everybody? Welcome into the TFA live draft show. I'm your host, Robbie Goodell. I've already got myself a good nickname for Goodell. We're excited for all you jumping in with us, rocking over the course of the evening. We're going to be going all the way from kickoff right now of the draft all the way to pick 32 and probably staying after and later to talk about all the things that went down, the drama, the trades, the nonsensical picks, breaking it all down. I've got with me Akash here tonight, and he's not going to be the only one. We're going to have some other guests joining us throughout the evening, some TFAers, some special guests. It's kind of a mystery bag. We don't know when they're coming. We don't know where they're coming from, but we're excited to kick it off right now here with Akash, man. How are you doing? What are you excited for? Tell us.
I'm doing really well. This is so exciting. You know, it's like Christmas if you're an NFL fan.
Exactly.
I'm so excited to see where all these guys end up going, to get that beloved draft capital in the books. It's exciting. I want to see where the quarterbacks go, mainly focusing on all their fantasy positions. So wide receivers and quarterbacks mostly, because it's expecting like one running back, if any. So 0 to 1 running backs, 0 tight ends. So really just focusing on the QBs, wide receivers, all the tackles, edges, cornerbacks. Well, I'll let Robbie talk about those, but I'll stick with the offensive players, what I know best.
Hell yeah. I think it's going to be really, I think it's going to be interesting just because we're in this draft, right, that is not offensive based, right? This is a defensive draft. People have been saying it for a while, and it's probably going to bear out to be that. And I think we haven't seen that for quite a while, right? Like we have to go all the way back. I did a little bit of research. We basically have to go back to 2013's draft where we had like this defensive of a draft. And for those of you who don't recall 2013 off the top of your head, that's where we only had 2 offensive skilled players go in the top 20 picks. That was EJ Manuel, 16 to the Bills, first quarterback off the board. And then I skipped Tavon Austin at 8. Going off the board. So it's just a wide receiver and a quarterback going off the board. I think we're going to have a better class this time around, but it's kind of reminiscent of, hey, will we see a quarterback in the top 10? When's that first wide receiver going to go? I think there's going to be a lot of movement in those top 10 picks. And with you being a Falcons fan, you know, what do you think for some of the movement, right? We have the Giants with 2 picks, 5 and 7. We have the Falcons with a ton of needs to fill. Can they trade back? Panthers at 6. Will they take a quarterback there and move back? Do you have any potential trades that you see coming down the pipe? And before you answer that, everybody in the chat, if you guys have thoughts on this, I want to know who you think's going first overall and some of these trades that you might think will happen here in the first round. Jets is another one. They have picks 4 and 10. Akash, thoughts on some trades maybe in the top 10 picks?
Oh, man, I don't know how many people we have in here right now, but if you follow me on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, I tweeted that if the Falcons trade up to the top 2 picks and for a quarterback, I'll put hot sauce in my eyes live on a stream later. We'll see if that goes down. I really hope it doesn't, because I don't know. I already need context. I don't want to have to get more.
They're expensive.
More of a prescription. Exactly. I like my eyesight, but I will do anything for a modicum of Twitter clout.
Right? Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. And I think the one I'm referenced off the top, kind of that 5 and 7 pick for the Giants, they're really close together. You got to assume that they want to move back maybe on that 7 pick, get some extra draft capital. They know they're going to need it here, not only for this year, but maybe even dip into the 2023 class. They get some future capital. So that's one where I see them maybe moving back. Players that could move up, I think it could be a multitude. Vikings have a couple of needs at cornerback, and I think that they might try and trade up for Stingley, right? So I think there's an option there. And then Houston's at 13, and they also have 3, so I don't know if they're moving up, but Ravens again at 14. There's a couple of needs there on the defensive line, maybe in that secondary. So they could be another opportunity for a trade. Here, I want to hear your thoughts on We talked about this a little bit on the mock draft that Kevin, Tom, and I did, and you jumped in for some analysis. I think that was last week, right? And we did our own mock draft, and we'll be referencing some of those picks that we made. But who do you think is going to be that first quarterback off the board? A lot of people are leaning Malik Willis. We have a lot of ties with the Panthers and Kenny Pickett. Do you think it's one or the other, and where do you think they go?
Yeah, I really think it's gonna be Malik. He's I think it's gonna be Malik just from what I'm hearing. Not that I hear anything people don't. That's just what the common narrative is right now, that Malik Willis is gonna be the first guy. I think teams will like his upside. I like his upside. Mobility brings a lot to the dynamism of an NFL offense nowadays. It's not like 10 years ago when pocket passer valued highest. Pretty much all the top quarterbacks in the league right now, outside of the aging guys who are aging out right now, like Rodgers and Brady, are decently mobile, can move around, and Malik is one of the most mobile quarterbacks he'll be one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league when he goes into the league. So I think a team will like that aspect for their NFL offense, because you can just do so much with it. And I don't know, good arm strength, that's high upside. Mobility, that's high upside. So even if he's, I don't know, I guess right now people think of him as not the most polished passer, which is probably true because his passing efficiency in college wasn't amazing. He's a guy that teams are going to fall in love with. Oh, the pick's coming in.
Yep, keeping an eye up here. I'm streaming from ESPN Plus. Let's get first guest / not guest, the Sandman himself, Tommy Sandman Corson. Welcome in. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, guys. How we doing?
Good. You ready to rock?
Yeah, man. I don't think the pick's coming in, is it?
No,
I think we're not even on the clock yet.
Oh, sorry. I got the thing muted. I just see Goodell talking. Damn it.
It's a lot of Raiders
the intro,
in Vegas.
Ice
what the hell did Carr do to his hair? Ugh.
Right?
Tim, you are slick back.
Don't worry about it.
It's like a really bad faux hawk.
When you get the contract that he just got, he can make his hair whatever he wants.
No doubt.
You're 30, bro. You're over 30 years old, man. Despicable.
Hey, we can't be ageist here. We've got old man Corson in with us, and Tom.
Yeah.
I wanna go right to you, because we were just talking about how many trades we could see maybe in this first round. You and I were talking about it a little bit before we jumped on here, and we put the number at about 4.5. If that's the number, do you think we're going to see more than 4.5 trades in this first round, or do you think we're going to get the under there?
No, I think 5 is probably the right number. I think we see at least one trade into the top 10 for somebody who's falling. I can definitely see the Eagles jumping up. I've been hearing Baltimore. Rappaport was saying that today. Who knows? Maybe the Chiefs go way, way up with both those first. You can see the Packers moving up. Houston was rumored to want to get back into the top 10. So I think you're going to see a lot more movement than normal, because there's no consensus on a lot of these players, and it's a deeper draft. So some of the tiers, that top tier might be 8 players or 9 players for somebody. And then you're hearing, players 15 through 48 are in the same tier for a lot of teams. It's really deep. And I think some teams are going to want to jump up. And when you have, I think, is it 6 or 8 teams that have multiple first-round picks this year?
Yeah, that's 8. I think it's an all-time high. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 6 already next year.
We're showing it right now. Yep, 8. It's Lions, Texans, Jets, Giants, Eagles, Saints, Packers, Chiefs. That's
a
record.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, what do you guys tuned into? ESPN or NFL?
Yeah,
NFL.
I've got ESPN rocking right now.
All right.
But yeah, I like how you said that, because we have the Packers who have close picks. Chiefs are right next to each other at 29 and 30. Giants at 5 and 7. So I think those are some of the teams I wrote down. I think there's going to be at least 5 trades, right? Giants, Chiefs, Saints or Eagles, maybe. Patriots trading back. I can absolutely see that happening with them at 21, picking up some more capital. They always do, right? And then the Cowboys are always potential to trade up if Treylon, they want to jump ahead of Green Bay at 22 there. Maybe they and the Patriots make that switch, right? So
damn.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of options there.
Wow.
Tom, any other like props that you're looking at that really jump out to you? Because I know you were looking at some of those in the week leading up. Anything that kind of tickles your fancy?
Tickles my fancy. Props. I mean, I did a few with some of the wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, I got in a little bit earlier. His over-under was set at 12.5. I took the under on him.
Yeah,
nice. That jumped up to 9.5. I think that's closer to what it should be. I think I might still lean the under there.
James Falcons versus Jets. Just got to choose.
Jameson Williams is at 12.5 as well. I like that to go under.
Mm-hmm.
There was I gotta log into that one. I have all sorts of prop stuff we can talk about though. I have let's see here.
Hey, while you pull that up, let's talk about some of these fantasy related positions, right? Because that's what we know best. And this is going to be a draft that's going to see a lot of wide receivers go. Probably 6, I think, is what we're going to see.
It's
the over under was 5.5, and it jumped up to 6.5.
Yeah,
and when you look at that tier of wide receivers that you're talking about, I saw somebody say as many as 9 could go in the first.
Wow,
I don't think 9 are going to.
Whoa, yeah.
You could have 9 first-round grades, but you can only fit 32 players.
Right. I don't think 9 are going to. I think the point of it was you could see 9 different wide receivers go.
Sure.
Based on somebody might like Sky more than Dotson, and I think we all have an idea of you're going to have Wilson, you're going to have Olave, you're going to have Williams. You're going to have Drake London,
Burks, and then your wild card.
We should see Burks, and then that's your 5, right?
Dotson, Sky Moore, Pickens.
Right, Dotson, Sky, Pickens.
Or wild
I think
card.
that's your big one. So
one of them could go to the Chiefs or something. That would definitely
right, and then
up draft boards.
Running backs.
Real quick, before we go away from wide receivers, the last time we saw that was 2020. We saw 6 go in the first round for wide receivers. That happened in 2015, 2009, 2007, 2005, and 2001. So it's pretty, I wouldn't say rare that 6 are going, but 7 would absolutely be that record setter. We have not seen that before. You talk about running backs, right? I think that's where you were going next. Breece Hall is kind of that question mark. Will he go in the first round? Is he going to be the early second? If he doesn't go in the first round, this would be the first time since 2014 where no running backs have gone in the first round. That 2014 draft was Bishop Sankey, Jeremy Hill, Carlos Hyde, and Devonta Freeman also came out of that draft class in the 3rd round. So it'd be kind of a throwback to some of those names.
Yeah, so
Freeman in the 4th was a steal. Crazy,
it was.
But yeah,
especially considering what he did at Florida State. He looks good. So Breece Hall's number came in at 39.5, and then you're hearing things today about the Bills possibly taking him at 25. I think that's the idea. And then I think tomorrow, if he doesn't go in the first tonight, you could see a team trading up to get him a little bit in that top 40. But it was minus 125 as opposed to minus 105. So he's favored to go under that a little bit, but I really like that bet as well. As far as did they even have Kenneth? I think he was the only running back on DraftKings even listed.
Yeah.
So that kind of gives you an idea of what Vegas thinks, which is not a lot.
They're showing the Jaguars draft room. We have the pick is in. There's always obviously the delay here as we get it. I think they still, with the NFL, they probably walk it up from these draft rooms all the way to the front, knowing how they measure first downs in the NFL and how arch-dated we are there. But before we see what this first pick is, guys, who do you think it is? Tom, I'll go to you first.
I think it's probably going to be Walker. I would like it to be Ekwonu because I put a bet on him to go first at plus 1,200 a few weeks ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. Right now the odds are all on Walker.
I think it's going to be Walker. Walker I think at like 740 when I looked, it was minus 1 or he's minus 400.
Yeah.
So he went
I
from
saw minus 450. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
so
Akash,
it's going to be him.
How about you, Akash?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Walker. Mostly because I trust Vegas and just, again, what everyone's saying.
Yeah, I think it's wild how that
supposedly
transpired.
Trent Baalke hates edge rushers with short arms.
Short arms, right? We got them little T-Rex
Walker's
arms.
got like 90th plus percentile arms, and Hutchinson's under 20. So
7 percentile. Yeah.
It's basically, I liked Alden Smith. So I think this guy. I don't understand if you're a GM like that where you almost got fired as it was, how you're not leaning safer there.
Oh, he's walking out. Yeah, I heard someone say that he could just to spite Harbaugh, since Harbaugh's in Michigan, since they have beef in San Francisco.
Yeah. It is Walker.
It is Walker. All right. So on our mock draft, Tom, that you, Kevin, and I did, we are 1 for 1 with Kev Steele. At the time, I know it was only a week ago, it was still kind of hot takey to put him over Hutchinson and leave Hutchinson at 2 for his hometown Lions. So let's see if he goes 2 here.
When we did that draft, Walker was still at plus money. He wasn't favored quite yet.
Wow.
So
y'all are ahead of me by a little bit.
Oh,
yeah. About 5-10 seconds, but it's all good.
Okay.
That pick is crazy. I know we've been talking about it. We all say we expected it, but I still can't believe they do
I know.
It just seems foolish to bet on athleticism.
So this is the idea that, good teams stay good and bad teams stay bad.
There's a reason that they've been picking a first overall 2 years in a row.
Right. Like there was no reason for that to go down the way that he did. I mean, so the other reasons are you have Trevor Lawrence, you just locked up Cam Robinson on the other side. You could have had 2 bookend tackles.
Yeah.
You spent to get, who was the guard they just got?
Walker Little.
Sheriff?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have him. You could have shored up your offensive line and Trevor Lawrence's career, so to speak. Or you could have taken the can't miss, so to speak, prospect. But they're swinging for the fences. They're not trying to be safe.
I don't know. What besides arm length, what does Walker have that Hutchinson doesn't? It's just weird. They're both athletic. They both have, one's like a 9.6 RAS, one's a 9.88 RAS.
Hey, so kind of switching gears here. We got the Lions pick in. Not walking to the podium yet, but it says the pick is in. So I asked the chat, who do they think is going to be the first offensive skilled position off the board, right? Talking fantasy.
I thought Walito spoiled that for a second.
Right? No. Willis is who he thinks. I think that would probably be consensus pick, right? Going as the first quarterback off. But let's say the Panthers don't take a quarterback at 6, or they move out and the Falcons maybe are that first team and they go wide receiver. Can you guys see that happening?
Absolutely.
And maybe it's a wide receiver. Are you guys leaning that way, or is that, hey, it's going to be Willis most likely?
Yeah, it's just the other thing is it could be a wide receiver, could be the third offensive player taken, because if Willis goes at 2, that's when you could see a team trying to trade up to get Pickett.
Or if he go at 6, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So 2 or 6, then you could see another team trying to jump up there to get the next quarterback. Because
I would love that.
I think that's what's gonna wind up happening.
Starting a quarterback run would be amazing.
Tom, are you calling?
It'd be fantastic.
Are you calling?
Because we just get so many more fantasy relevant guys who rush the ball well.
Tom, are you calling Malik Willis to the Lions right here at pick number 2?
Call it.
I think I am.
Okay. I see.
Oh, hot spice.
I don't think it's.
We said there's gonna be some tomfoolery, and
I don't really think it's gonna
happen.
happen.
The Falcons don't trade up here, I don't have to put hot sauce in my eyes.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's gonna be that.
Yeah. It's possible, but I don't know. I don't think so. Shit, we'll have to see. We are not good at knowing what's happening, but we're gonna know in a couple seconds. This is so exciting, man.
So Tom's in the lead for stream. He probably has cable, knowing his age. You got straight up cable, don't you, Tom?
Yeah. I got it hard lined in there with some bunny ears up on the.
It's Hutchinson.
No.
Damn.
Yeah, it's Hutchinson.
So
and that's
Tom
what
gets
it.
Let's go. That's a good pick for them. That's a good pick.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 right now with our
Michigan
draft.
man.
I feel like a lot of people might already be off a little bit. This is one of the tougher years to kind of pick your top 5, your top 10 picks. And right now we're rocking 2 for 2. The third one that we have, we have the Texans going.
I don't want it to happen.
We have Thibodeau going, and I don't think. Well, we did do trades, but we didn't have any trades in the top 10 actually, which I don't think is going to remain the case. But we have Kayvon Thibodeau going 3rd to Houston. People in the chat, let us know, who do you think is going to Houston here?
Who would I put in my
3rd overall pick?
Who would I put in my mock? Damn.
Oh boy, it's about to get.
The other day I made
feisty.
a mock. Yesterday I made a mock using just Vegas odds and grinding the mocks, and I gave him Stingley.
He's in now. Hey!
We screw it up.
TFA's own lawyer, Nate Henry, in the house. What do you think about your pick? What do you think about your pick, sir?
I am absolutely thrilled. Thank you to the Jacksonville Jaguars for being the Jacksonville Jaguars and allowing the best player in the draft to fall to us at 2. Now I can go rub it in all those people's faces who said we shouldn't have won that Week 17 game. Who cares now?
True. That's a good point. And Walito jumping in the chat here. I overlooked this fantastic $50 super chat. This is how good of a host I am, Walito. This is why we need Cody. This is why we need Kev, because when you got the backup in the hot seat, I miss things like this. Love the color. Love the contribution, Walito. You were way too kind to us. Absolutely am pumped to have you here. And yeah, so right now we are 2 picks in and 2 picks correct. Nate, we did a TFA mock draft, and we had the first 2 picks, right? Kev took Walker going 1. We had Aiden Hutchinson going number 2. Who do you think? Who do you think here can go number 3 as you avoid the dog? Do you got the mailman dog attacking you here or what?
I'm hanging with friends. We got I'm not welcome in this home apparently, which is like most homes if we're being honest. So, but I wanted to pop in and just celebrate because the Lions took Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, man, that's exciting. That's exciting. Do you think, while we got you on, do you think with number 32, are they going to make any moves there? Do you think if they stay there, can they go quarterback to get the 5th-year option, or do they go safety? What are you thinking there with 32?
Yeah, so I would think the Lions are going to take 3 defensive players with their first 3 picks. I have heard some Sam Howell rumblings, but I think the team needs to solve their issues on defense. And I think that they are perfectly happy to have Jared Goff be the starting quarterback for another possibly 2 years.
Ooh, that's a little spicy. Not just one more year, which is that kind of, we're thinking an extra year going into 2023 as well.
Right. And that's how long his contract is. And that just may be what they're stuck with. So, yeah.
Stuck with.
Yeah, you sound excited
pick
about
is in
that.
for the Texans. All right, bet.
Yep.
What do you think? I think Stingley.
So Walito said Icky, and Tom, you said who?
Thibodeau, right?
I said Thibodeau in the draft, but I don't think it's going to be that anymore.
Damn. I think Walito's trying to fake us out a little bit here, saying
because I'm pretty sure like his Canadian timeline is going to be behind my cable. That's underground in the United States through a tunnel.
When you're shelling out 50 bones to bums like us, you probably got the setup where he's getting this information before us.
He's got the NASA setup.
Yeah. I had to mute all those guys, Ari, Schefter, Ian, because they always spoil it, man. I muted them all.
Yeah, when you're on the draft show, I'm not even checking that stuff. I'm here in the moment. Yeah, I think it's Thibodeau. It'd be crazy to see 3 straight DNs, but that's a need for the Texans. They're not looking at quarterback right now.
They've been so linked to Stingley. I think it's got to be Stingley.
Okay, Stingley. I think that would be really interesting. I don't think Stingley has really been mocked this high.
Really?
I did put some money down. I put some money down on Stingley to go through.
Draft odds and Vegas, and it was Stingley at 3.
Stingley is the favorite at 3 at -125.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I picked him there. And so
you're going straight Vegas.
Maybe I'm going 3 for 3. We'll see.
The draft's in Vegas. You're trusting the Vegas odds. I think that's a winning formula here.
They got eyes on the ground.
So I hedged too.
Where you been? Welcome in. Let's get your thoughts here. We're about to get the Texans selection here in the next couple seconds here.
Dang, he's walking
Tom's
out.
got it. Tom's got it. I'm going to get it
God.
then in another 2 or 3 seconds. Yep, there it is.
All right, let's see what it is. I'm still behind.
All right, so we did not.
That's crazy.
I'm
All
waiting.
right, there it is.
Okay,
Nice.
I wanted to make sure I didn't spoil it for you. We did not go 3 for 3.
I'm 3 for
Derek
3.
You're 3 for 3. Fallen Vegas odds. Love that. Derek Stingley goes number 3. And again, Texans needed so many things in this draft. That's why I can see them being one of the teams that maybe trades back from the 13. I think a popular one is the Chiefs doing a mega trade up, trying to get Jameson Williams, maybe Garrett Wilson if he sneaks by with their 2 29 and 30 first round picks.
That'd
Nate,
be so fun.
What do you think about trades here? Do you think there's, with the Giants having 5 and 7, Jets having 4 and 10, do you think we see any top 10 trades here?
No, I mean, I don't think the Giants would be moving out. I heard their goal is to get a DN and a lineman out of 7 and 5. I'm sure they are hoping and praying that the tackle from NC State falls or Neal. But they're in pretty good shape right now. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
But I think the Jets. What is Vegas like? The Jets like them to take a D end, right?
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
I got Thibodeau going here.
Yep.
And
I got Thibodeau. Since he didn't go 3, probably Thibodeau. Sauce Gardner, I think, is a popular one. They've needed corner for so long. They were so bad against the secondary with the secondary.
So I think it's going to be Sauce here because there's a chance that they can get a defensive end at 10, and there's not a chance that Sauce is going to fall to 10.
That's true.
Yeah. With Stingley going here, then that makes sense.
Yeah. So when it's funny because it's just really process of elimination. And when you have 2 top 10 picks, now all of a sudden it's like, so now we're talking dynasty stuff, right? Because you're like, all right, I'm going to take the running back here because I know there's 3 wide receivers that are going to be there that I like, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of like, all right, we have these guys in the same tier, and all these guys in the top, they should be in the same tier for most NFL teams. So I think that's where you're going to see Sauce go here. And if they go, if they go defensive end here, then I would not be shocked at all to see them trade that 10 pick.
Yeah, I think with them being linked to a wide receiver at 10, I think that changes the I can maybe get an edge rusher at 10 because they're so linked to a wide receiver at 10 that it's less of I think I can get this position later and more of a who would they have higher between Thibodeau and Sauce. And so
right.
I think it's still I don't know. I could see it being both of them. I wouldn't be surprised by either of them.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the Jets can really do whatever they want because they have 2 picks in the second too.
36 and 40 or something like that. But that's what I was going to bring up.
Plenty of guys will go early second.
Is that you're telling me you can't get a Pickens, a Sky Moore, a Watson, Dotson, some of these guys at 36 or 40 or whatever picks they have in the early second? I don't know if many people have gone 4 and 10 and said, hey, they're not going wide receiver at all. I like how Nate threw that out. It's like, hey, this could be actually a scenario where they don't go wide receiver at 4 or 10 just because there are such good defensive players here. And then they pick up. Sky Moore doesn't fit maybe with that team with them getting Elijah Moore, but maybe, a bigger Pickens, a bigger Watson, right? And I think that could be an option.
The other thing is if there's a run on wide receivers, they have the capital to move up and get who they want from 30 those 2 second-round picks. So,
and are they still trying to get
interesting because they can do what they want? Yeah, and there's the Debo factor. So,
probably not, but always in the back of their minds. But I feel like with them, with Zach Wilson entering too, it's going to be I think receiver could be a big focal point for them. Maybe over defense, instead of 2 defensive players, you address defense here and then focus on surrounding Wilson with more than just Elijah Moore and maybe Corey Davis. I like Corey, but he's I don't know. He's an okay 3. I don't know about being there too. If you want Zach Wilson to take a major second-year leap, then addressing wide receiver here could be big for them.
Boys, there's something wrong with us. Walito is that far ahead of us. And so even Tom, who's got the straight cable, he's not getting these picks as quick as Walito. There must be something different.
Walito spoiling?
Nope, he's doing a good job.
Okay, good.
No, because there's nobody on Twitter saying anything.
Nate,
check.
What do you got, Nate? You got the pick in or not?
Check
yet?
Like my sports update or something.
I had to jump away from the TV to make sure that we could talk a little here, but I think I am gonna run and enjoy the draft party here. But I'm so happy to see all of your faces. My goodness.
Yeah,
I know.
You too, buddy.
Great.
All right.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I see the pick now.
Later, brother.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for letting me
Later,
jump
Nate. Good to see you.
Yeah, same to you.
I see the pick.
Okay. So I'm about to get it here.
After this one, I think I'm gonna I might hop off and I got another stream go to. I'll join you later.
This is absolutely erroneous. I don't understand.
Don't spoil. Is it gonna be like Garrett Wilson or something stupid?
I can't believe.
No, I mean, let's talk about how right I am all the time.
Okay.
You know what's crazy?
I'm right all the time.
Tom,
you and I were 3.
You and I were 3 seconds apart, and now I still don't have the pick. Walito's getting it 3 minutes ago.
I don't have it either. So Connor Hughes said it on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Twitter's always got it because Ari and Ian and Schefter, they always tweet it so early because they're tapped into the. They get it. They get it at the same time, like similar time to the commissioner, and then
yeah. Schefter and Rappaport basically came to an agreement that they weren't going to tip picks.
And then Ari's still doing it because I looked at it earlier.
That's Ari who?
My sports update. He's the worst. I hate him just because he's spoiling picks. How dare he?
All right. Sorry. Well, I haven't looked. So we'll see what this pick is. I'm sure some of y'all know out there.
We'll see.
I already told you who it was.
No. Is it? We'll see.
I believe it's Saucy, but let's see.
It could be. I don't know because he said it was something stupid, so I'm expecting something stupid. Let's see, Drake London. Number 4.
Come on, Drake. I gotta remember that. The Kakashi behind me.
Yeah, I'm about 10, 15 seconds behind. We'll see. You got it? I still haven't got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Sauce, nice one.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, you said it's a good pick.
So I think
it makes a ton of sense for him.
Yeah. So we've gotten 4 straight defensive picks here. I think this is. Do we think this is at 5 where they start to go to the offensive side? Maybe tackle. Maybe a tackle here, the first tackle off the board.
I mean, it should be. Bless their hearts.
Which one, Walito? I love that. I love that thought as well. I've gone back and forth so much between Icky and Neal. We have to remember, I think Charles Cross is in this conversation. He's not the consensus pick in this conversation.
No, I think they go Thibodeau because at 7 they can get one of those guys.
Yeah.
Well, they could like Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, they could. I think if you like, I don't know. I like.
But that's the exact line of thinking that I just had with them taking Sauce. So I wouldn't be surprised anyway.
Yeah, but the Giants with only 1 pick between theirs, they have a lot more certainty. If they got Icky and Neal in the same tier and they want one of them, they easily get like a guaranteed get one of them at 7 and go Thibodeau here to like them.
Right. Or no cap, son. No cap.
Yeah. Ratio. Man, I got Tom so good earlier today in the group chat. He was talking about something about dragons or something. I don't know. I was like,
yes, I was talking about a gun that sounds like a dragon spitting fire from a helicopter. And
that's right. And I said dragon these nuts on your face.
And I was like, damn it. I'm with my 2 kids who are like 4 and 2 years old. And I'm completely not in the right mindset of that.
Of banter.
You got. It's all good. It's all good.
I got. It's all right because I admitted it immediately. It was like that. All right, you got it.
All right, Akashi, you jumping out? You hanging with us for one more pick? What do you got?
How quickly are they gonna do it? It's only a couple minutes. I'll see y'all. Okay.
All right.
If Thibodeau goes at 5, maybe I can get an I told you so in.
All right.
But my mock's already ruined.
Hey, Tom, while we're waiting for that next pick here. Later, man. Before you jumped on, I was talking about, there's been defensive drafts and offensive drafts, and obviously this one started off defensively as we thought. The last time this really happened was 2013, where EJ Manuel was the first quarterback taken at 16, and the first offensive skilled player was Tavon Austin at 8, if you remember all the way back to that draft. I don't think we quite get to that level, but I'm curious when that first offensive skilled player goes off the board. I know we're only at pick 5 here, but I'm excited to see what the Panthers do at 6. Is it our first trade? Is it our first quarterback? What's going to happen there at 6?
Yeah, I mean, Carolina, they put themselves in a situation where they need to win
for sure
to save their jobs. So having a rookie quarterback might not be the smartest thing in the world for him. That being said, it's like,
but Robbie Anderson don't want Baker, and Baker don't want Robbie.
At the same time, Robbie Anderson doesn't run the damn team.
That's so true. That's so true.
So if they get an offensive lineman here, or they trade it because they have no day 2 picks, that's a big thing. Like, they don't have any day 2 picks. They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah,
they're a mess.
It's a problem.
They're a mess.
Sorry to any Panther fans listening. This green room is looking a lot like a blue room to me. I don't know if now we got a purple room.
It's purple.
It's anything but a green room.
It's definitely not green.
Walito, I agree with you. I think it's going to be Evan Neal because the Giants took left tackle Andrew Thomas 2 drafts ago, I believe. Had some struggles, but he is kind of that traditional anchor left tackle. So I think you can see Neal playing on the right side, where you have Icky kind of being more versatile, can kind of play all around, but maybe not quite as strong of an anchor and set kind of guy. So I'm agreeing with you there. He is who I took. I think I took at 5 in our mock draft here. TFA mock draft, we've only missed pick 3, but we got 4. And then I took Evan Neal at number 5 for the Giants. So we have a chance to go 4 out of 5 here, Tom.
Yeah, now we did this a week ago before the odds really jumped up for Stingley. And I'll tell you what, Vegas is just on fire.
Yeah.
They have nailed every pick.
And which is crazy. That's just crazy, because if you pick a draft that's not consensus,
right,
it's this one, right?
Yeah. And they said, like, you talk to NFL GMs and they're like, this is going to be the craziest draft we've seen in like 20 years because there's no consensus. And Vegas has nailed the first 4 picks.
Does anybody jump ahead of Carolina and take a quarterback here? Trade up?
I do not think so. The pick is in, so definitely not.
Okay. Pick is in. Yeah, I mean, the Giants have quite a bit of needs, but when you're looking at who's available, it's your edges. They need a tackle for sure. I think we're gonna get our first offensive player off the board here.
I don't know. I think what Akash said makes a lot of sense here. If you want an edge, you're going to get one of those 2 tackles at 7.
Okay.
Making the announcement now.
All right. You can say it because I'm only 3 or 4 seconds behind you. Awesome. That's a well-dressed man right there. That's a nice tie. Nice tie. We're going to give some fashion advice too. Rock that tie. Let's see. We took Evan Neal. We think odds are. They probably don't update odds live.
No,
right?
they take everything off the board.
Yeah, it's too short a time.
I will tell you, I'm upset.
Oh. Yep. Good call, Akash. That's a good call right there. So we got Kayvon Thibodeau coming off here at number 5 to the Giants. And it makes sense, right? You have 3 offensive tackles that you'd be okay with, 2 kind of maybe are a slight tier above, and you got a second pick here in 2 more picks. So why not take the edge? They arguably could have gone 1 or 2. What do you think there, Tom?
No, I think it was a smart pick by them. Thibodeau's, he was basically looked at as the number 1 pick before the season started, and then all of a sudden you have effort issues, but he had an ankle issue, so he was saving himself essentially. So I think it's a fantastic pick for the Giants. The Eagles are very sad. They were apparently trying to be aggressive and move up, hoping Thibodeau or one of the corners fell, I believe, and we haven't had an offensive player taken. So I don't necessarily know, but the trade ups here, I think because some of these players that they were saying, hey, maybe they're going to fall, we might not see trade ups necessarily, because I think you're going to see a run on offensive tackles here.
Yeah. I mean, we have obviously the quarterback option. A lot of people think Malik Willis. I might be the contrarian that thinks Kenny Pickett. You mentioned earlier that they need to win now, right? Matt Rule is not going to be long for this job. If they struggle at all this year, he's going to be on the streets looking for a different job. They're going to go in a different direction. We have the connection with David Tepper, Pitt alum, owner of the Carolina Panthers, and Kenny Pickett, right? There's a lot of ties here. Do they take Kenny Pickett that high? Because I've seen more and more as we've gotten into this process where he's kind of fallen. I've seen Kenny Pickett fall the second round in some mocks.
Right.
Now, that kind of leaves it open to, do they take a quarterback or do they trade back? Or maybe, like you said, they go offensive tackle and leave quarterback for somebody else. So a lot of options here, but I just don't know if it's going to be Malik Willis, because it doesn't fit what this team needs right now. It's probably the best upside shot, but it doesn't make sense for what they need right now.
True. However, you saw what the Eagles did last year with Jalen Hurts, and this is what I brought up in our show, last week. They can tailor that offense around his strengths, and they're going to win games with Christian McCaffrey and Malik Willis in the backfield, most likely running the ball. Now, they have to have a decent defense in order to do that, which their defense isn't really that good. But when you run the ball and you have possession, you're going to win some games. So maybe they do that and they survive year 1, and then, he kind of, they're developing him in process. Because I think if you take Kenny Pickett, and I brought this up during the show, a scout was like, is he going to look that much better than Sam Darnold in practice? Just in practice, when you don't have people. Now, keep in mind, Sam Bradford was the most amazing practicing quarterback of all time. So I get that aspect, where Malik Willis is immediately going to flash, which is why I'm leaning more Willis, because they already have Darnold, who's drop back. I think Willis is more of the slam pick there. And then Matt Rule came from college, so he knows how to run with a quarterback. He did it at Temple quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's another tie, right? Matt Rule recruits Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett doesn't ultimately end up going to Temple at the time, goes to Pitt. Matt Rule switches teams as well to Baylor, but there's also that tie as well. So there's just a lot of stuff pointing to Kenny Pickett. Man, it's tough. We're at 2 minutes and change here before their picks going to be in. And Walito said, hey, if they don't take Willis, which I don't think is going to happen, they take one of the 3 offensive tackles. This is something that Joe Marino of the Draft Network has harped on forever, and I completely agree. I think it was Jordan Gross was the last offensive tackle they took in the first round, 2013 or something like that, and they've just been a rotating turnstile at that position, haven't been able to protect anybody. Cam, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, all of these quarterbacks, right? They're just feeling it each and every game. So I think that's a smart pick, but also you get an offensive tackle and then wait till the 4th round. It just feels like a trade down is so much better here if there's somebody that will come up. But who are they coming up for?
Yeah, and the pick is in, so they are making the pick. And I saw who the pick was already.
Man, why do you keep doing that to yourself? You can't wait.
I got to stop.
You can't wait, can you?
I don't know. I have alerts on my phone, and I gotta turn them off.
Yeah,
you're done.
I don't want to see. I want to see it kind of for myself, and I appreciate everybody. And then by everybody, I mean Walito really rocking the chat here, not spoiling these picks, because I like to kind of get it, see it, and see how that kind of alters my mindset. Because there's been a couple already. That 3rd overall pick with Stingley. I wasn't really expecting that to happen, even though that the odds had changed so last minute. But, when that does change, like we saw that with Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, right? It was Sam Darnold 101, Sam Darnold 101 to the Browns. And then what happened? Like that last week.
It was the last day.
Like the last 2 or 3 days, right? It just switches. It's like, nope, Baker's going 101. And I didn't really believe it, and it happened. So I need to start when these shifts change so late. It's like somebody got the info. It's been spread. Vegas has got a hold of it. It's for real. So.
No, I remember that one was a funny one because I remember where I was when I read a report like in the morning of the draft. I was home, I wasn't working, and I immediately put a bet in for Baker to be the first overall pick, and the odds hadn't shifted yet. And then the odds dropped. So it's crazy when you see a player, Travon Walker, for instance, is at plus 240 and Hutchinson's at minus 200 to be the first overall pick. And then there's a report, and the next thing you know, Walker's minus 200 and Hutchinson's like plus 200. When it flips that much, they know. They know.
Yep. And it goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah. So interesting thing coming up here is you have Jermaine Johnson's the last real defensive end edge rusher here that should be taken in the top 10.
Right. The next is what Karlaftis, I would say, and he's kind of more that late teens, early 20s range.
Right. So then you have Icky, Neal, Cross should go very soon. So that's 4 picks.
Yeah.
And then we have the wide receivers where you're going to see 3 of them go. So that's 7. QBs, who knows?
3 of them until what pick? What was your range there?
3 of them next. So like with it, that's 7 picks.
In a tier is what you're saying?
In a tier.
Do we get more than 2? Do we get more than 2 before, or do we get 2 in the top 10 picks? I'm not sure.
2 wide receivers. We might the way it's going, it's not going well for teams that need a wide receiver because I mean they're all on the board, but there's going to be a run based on the defensive players going this early. I mean, you have Jordan Davis is the only nose tackle that's going to go high, but he's not going to go that high. Hamilton's probably getting pushed up the board, right?
Yeah. Man, I can't believe how far behind you guys get the information on Twitter and then it takes for it to come in.
Yeah, it's
wild. And I'm jealous because I'm like, man, I want to jump on Twitter. I want to see those picks, but I'm going to wait, get it the old-fashioned way. I'm about to get the pick here. We got Walito already talking about who the Giants are going to take. We got J-Mike jumping in. We got Icky going here, 6 to the Carolina Panthers. And just like I said before, Joe Marino of the Draft Network has been calling this for years. He said they don't take tackle. They get crushed at tackle every single year. And so they finally get that with a guy who's pretty versatile. He can play left side, right side, wherever you want.
Tackle.
Yeah, I kind of like
such an angry man.
Yeah, absolutely. Run blocking and pass blocking can be that anchor. Got J-Mike rocking with us. Good evening to you. Walito's pumped up. So Walito thinks we're going to get back-to-back tackles here. Thinks the Giants are going to go Neal. I think it's an opportunity for them to trade back. Curious what J-Mike thinks. Curious what the other individuals in the comments think watching from home. Tom, number 7 here for the Giants. What are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling Evan Neal here. Although I have seen Charles Cross get mocked here.
A lot of people like him. A lot of people like Cross over Neal just because.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Not at all. Like, I'm not saying I don't like Charles Cross. I'm just saying I do not like him over Evan Neal. Like, I think that's crazy talk. So, but it would be a very Giant thing to do.
Yeah, it would.
Although Joe Schoen just made a pretty good pick with Thibodeau there, and then Evan Neal may have been his top offensive tackle. We'll never know. He's going to come out. So that's the other thing. If you're a GM and you make a pick like you did with Thibodeau at 5, and you know you're going to take an offensive tackle at 7, in your press conference, you're literally going to say, well, he had him as our top offensive tackle, so that was a really good value there.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yep. And Walito pointed it out. I think before Akash left the stream, he pointed out, he said, hey, because they got Thibodeau here, they're gonna pass on offensive tackle, let whoever falls to 7 go, and they're gonna go Thibodeau, and that happened, and now they're in prime position to get whatever these 2 tackles that they want. Man, I'm really excited to see what this first trade's gonna be. I thought maybe it was gonna be at 6. They should want to trade, but I don't know if anyone's coming up unless they want to jump in front of Atlanta for a quarterback or a wide receiver. Does a team want to trade up when this wide receiver class is this deep and there's this many impactful guys, especially when they're off the board?
No, I don't think you see a trade up here, especially for a wide receiver. Who's going to trade up for a wide receiver to 7 when you can wait a little bit?
Yeah. You know what? This is a good question for everybody as well, because we didn't see the Panthers go quarterback. Where is the first quarterback going off the board? Do we see it with the Falcons at 8? Do we see it with the Commanders at 11? Do we have to see a trade up? Are we waiting to the Saints? Tom, are your Eagles going to be crazy? Go a little quarterback action? When are we going to see the first quarterback go off the board now? I think that is a huge, huge question right now because he doesn't go at number 6.
So I think this is so you're talking about Howie Roseman wanting to trade up. Everybody's talking about that. With the way the draft has gone, they can stick at 15, and then if somebody thinks the Saints might go QB, because I think that's a team who might go QB, they're at 16 and 18. Someone could jump them at 15, or the Ravens trade up at 14 to try and get a QB there. So I'm going to put in the mid-teens. I think a quarterback goes. I don't think the Commanders take a quarterback. It's just not smart at this point for them to do that, because then you already saw that Wentz is a mental midget when they drafted Jalen Hurts in the 2nd. If they spend, do you have a ghost in your house walking around? Because I see the shadow. It's fantastic.
That would be my lovely wife. Yeah. and the barking dog. She's all right. She's good.
Yeah.
She's so I barking.
Oh, she got in trouble? Tell her not to beat her.
Alex didn't get in trouble. The dog did.
No, either one of them. Don't beat either one of them, Robbie.
Either way. Oh, no, all peace in this household. All peace. Best available here. Man, Kyle Hamilton's another one that kind of, people say, hey, he's not going to be a top 10 pick, but he has top 10 talent. Do we value the safety position enough? It's going to be really interesting here to see where Kyle Hamilton goes. A lot of defensive picks up until this last one with offensive tackle.
Yeah, pick is in, so they did not get to trade it. I honestly could see it. I could see Atlanta doing it. And you want to talk about it. So if Atlanta doesn't take him, Willis in particular, sure. I think that's where you see the fall to the mid-teens, and then you see a team possibly trading up to jump the Saints.
Are the Steelers patient enough, or do you think the Steelers trade up? Because at 20, you know that they love Willis. Both the GM and Tomlin went to his pro day.
Yeah, we were right.
There it is. Evan Neal. Love it.
Yeah. So what I think they're patient enough because they're a good franchise. So you saw it with New England last year when Mac Jones is falling. You're like, when are they going to trade up? When are they going to trade up? When are they going to trade up? So that move from 20 to 15 or so, or 14, isn't going to cost you, it's not like it's going to be a bounty necessarily. So that's where it's like, okay, that's pretty interesting. But if Atlanta passes on, I could see Willis going here because you have Mariota at quarterback.
It's a great spot. It's where I had him going in I think our mock draft, if not just another mock that I've done. It makes perfect sense because this team is not going to do anything this year. Sorry, Akash. Sorry, Christian Welch, all of the TFA Falcons fans that we have. They are not in a position to win this year. They have so many holes to fill from their edge, their interior. All right. The linemen, it feels like they spent a first-round pick on a lineman. A lot of them have been bust. They need wide receiver. They need 2 wide receivers. They need 3 wide receivers. Running back, probably. Quarterback, yes. You know what I'm saying? There's so many holes that I think we need to think that they can trade back if they don't go Malik Willis here. It's a perfect fit for him, but they have so many needs where I can see them trading back as well. J-Mike, real quick. Yeah, Evan Neal is a monster.
Massive.
An absolute monster. And he's going to probably hold down that right side of the line for the Giants. They got Andrew Thomas, another monster there on the left side. Probably going to help Daniel Jones. Let's see if they can add any wide receiver help for Daniel Jones there. Maybe make him interesting in super flex leagues. I don't know.
The happiest person in the world with that pick is Saquon Barkley, because you have contract year, 2 good offensive tackles, and Evan Neal is an absolute he just mauls people. He just destroys people in the run game. He can move, he can pull, he can do whatever you need to do. And with that offense, the way it's been basically ran, like it's been a shit show. So they get a head coach in there who knows what he's doing in Brian Dable, it looks like. And now you have Evan Neal to go there. So looks pretty good to me. Especially, contract year, right?
Yeah. And Cody's jumping into the chat here. He's playing Mr. Mom here with Carson. Cody, who do you want them to take? You don't want them to go quarterback. He's doing the Michael Scott gif. No, God, no. I'd love to see that. And who do you think they're going to go then if they're not going quarterback? Because they've been linked to quarterback. There's obviously the need there. They do have a couple other spots defensively. They've gotten older, let go of some guys. I'm curious if they don't go quarterback, which I feel like they're gonna. Who are they going? So that's a question for Cody.
Yeah. Let's talk available players right now, because you have ESPN's big board, so to speak. And this is where we start getting into some fun players, so to speak. You have Garrett Wilson as their top remaining player. Then we have Kyle Hamilton. He's only dropping because of positional value, so to speak. Charles Cross. So if you need an offensive tackle, that's your guy. Then we have Drake London, Jordan Davis, freak show. Jameson Williams. So we have 3 wide receivers out of the top 6 next, and we have Jermaine Johnson and then Chris Olave. So we have 4 out of the top 8 players are wide receivers coming up here. So
and there's a wide receiver need here. The pick is in, so the pick is in. So we're thinking it's not been traded, right? This has got to be an offensive player, right? This has got to be either Malik Willis or Garrett Wilson. I think we picked Garrett Wilson in our mock that we did 6 days ago before we got all the latest and greatest news. We took Garrett Wilson to Atlanta. I made that pick for them at number 8. Let's see if they go there.
Yeah, and Cody doesn't want a quarterback, a running back, a tight end, or a free safety. I think they should take a tight end here. I think the Steelers need to take a tight end at 20. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, I thought he was saying
to see Cody on
position.
No.
Yeah. J. Mike. We reached out to him. He said he had a couple other obligations. Might sneak on for the post draft show. Let's see.
He's not at the NFL draft. The draft there. And listen, when you have
that's pre-recorded. That's pre-recorded, Tom. He's not actually there.
When you have that kind of hair, you have to allow for certain venues. Like, so if you're going to go to Vegas, like the desert might not do well for his coif, and he's got to take that into account.
There's no moisture,
right? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I've never been in the desert before, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's true.
Maybe Mel just didn't want to go to Vegas, where it's let's be honest, it's a little warm.
Man, this is the one I've been most excited for, because I think we're going to get some fantasy related person here.
Yeah. Pour one out.
Oh man, they go Drake London. Oh, we got some vino. The vino's coming out, y'all.
We're gonna go wine here because I just lost 2 bets.
Oh no, the Sandman, the process.
I hedged. I said I had Garrett Wilson or Jameson Williams being the first wide receiver off the board, because I don't really like Drake London, and Atlanta decided, you know what? We're just going to have Kyle Pitts and Drake London running out there, because Marcus Mariota, it doesn't, just get it near him. Just get it near either one of them, right? We don't really need to be pinpoint.
That's all you got to do here. And that's why I like Drake London so much. He's been one of my top wide receivers. I know people kind of have questions with some of his game. But, man, they're putting it up on the screen right now. But, yeah, that 50-50 ball, his ability to just go up and get it wherever it's thrown to him, his catch radius. I don't think he's slow by any means. I know he didn't run or test because of the injury. The numbers he put up in 8 games with USC, I actually hate this because now he's one of my guys that I like. He's now going to vault up as the first wide receiver off the board. It doesn't happen every time. We had Henry Ruggs where he didn't jump even though he was the top wide receiver off the board. But this is a spot where we have the need, right? Who's going to catch targets there other than Kyle Pitts? So the need's there. We have the profile there with the player. And eventually they're going to have, if it's not Mariota long-term, which we probably don't think it is, they're going to have somebody. Man, that's a perfect comment here. Okay. Yeah. I thought Walida was talking about nobody talking about Drake London going here. He talked about the Seahawks, but this Drake London pick, I don't think a lot of people were putting him here. They were putting Garrett Wilson, maybe Jamison Williams here.
Yeah, this is a surprising pick that they went over them, but if that's the kind of offense that they're trying to run there with, 50-50, it's like they're going to go and practice, and they're going to practice. Mariota's going to practice I'm going to throw off my back foot falling to my right kind of throw. Like that could be lethal from 5 yards in. They just have to get down there.
They're doing the pro day throw, right, that we saw Zach Wilson do last year, right? Going against your side, turn, throw, 60-yard bomb. That's all they're going to be doing in practice, and it's going to be who's running the route. Is it London or Pitts?
With Pitts and London, you have the Chip Kelly approach of big people beat up little people. So we'll see how it works out for him. And here's another thing. I was looking over some of the players that Chip drafted when he was in Philly. They're really good.
Oh, really?
Like Chip the GM was actually better than Chip the coach.
Yeah.
Like much better. Like even players. So they drafted Villanueva, but he tried to play him at defensive end.
Yeah.
They drafted Jordan Poyer, who has been a really good player with the Bills, who they wound up cutting. He evaluated well. It just apparently was horrible. Drafted Lane Johnson.
Yeah. Walito is thinking that there's going to be a trade down here.
No. He said he saw Seattle's pick and he did not expect that at all.
Yeah, well, I like that. Getting a little surprising here. Does that make us think quarterback, right? Because if he's not expecting this, I'm not going on Twitter to spoil this for myself. I think it could be a quarterback. Probably not wide receiver, right? I mean, Lockett is a little bit older. They could look at the wide receiver market. Man, this is where it's getting interesting. We have our first offensive skill position off with Drake London. Tom, you're spoiling it for yourself, aren't you? You can't help yourself.
I'm trying to.
I definitely – we know they're in the quarterback market. They brought in quarterbacks for their top 30 visits, but we just didn't think they'd maybe do it here. But here's the thing. We said it on the show last week. Seattle, we don't know what they're going to do, right? They're so all over the map. Were they going to trade up, trade down, pick a quarterback, pick a random pick here? I bet if Walito's saying he didn't expect it all, we're talking about either the first quarterback off the board or maybe even a Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams type of situation.
I don't even know what he's seeing because the pick's not even in yet.
He's got the Canada vision, man. It's a different foresight. He is seeing things before they happen. Maybe Walito's making some of these picks. I don't know because he's been on fire with his guessing.
I think I just saw it.
All I've got is 833-8ROCKET, rocketmortgage.com, baby. And we are not sponsored by them, but we could be. We're open to it. They're probably watching.
Are you going to refinance? Are you going to do a refi?
Oh, no. The house we got in at a great time. We're at 2.375%. You can't get any better than that, especially with the rates going up. But we are not here to talk about housing.
Wait, we're not? Let's talk mortgages, man. I'm 40 years old. I'm gonna mow the lawn, put my New Balances on. You know what I mean? Just get out there,
fall asleep,
refi,
asleep on the live show.
Yeah, let's talk some Home Depot seed.
Yeah, hey, Jay, Mike. It sounds like you're not spoiling the pick for yourself either. Who do you think it is? If we get this in before we see the pick, who do you think it is? I'm gonna go. Man, it's got to be maybe Malik, because can they have a battle with Drew Lock and Malik Willis? It feels like a quarterback. If we're surprised about it, which is the only clue I have from Walito, I'm going to go quarterback. Who do we pick in the mock real quick? Let's go back to the mock here.
So hold on.
Number 9.
This is why I made this pick.
Icky, right? And so Icky's not on the board. Would you switch to Cross?
So I think
Jermaine?
I think it's offensive tackle. And I said I think I saw it. I didn't really see anything. But I think it makes sense to be offensive tackle, right? That's why I went there in the mock.
Yeah, definitely. They absolutely need it. They haven't had a really good tackle since Okun, right? They took Russell Okun
and it's okay for them to be bad. They're expecting to be bad, obviously. So, they have 2 first-round picks next year anyway. It's a better quarterback class next year. They're not going to be a good team. So why not get an offensive tackle just to, be sitting there for a new quarterback next year? Unless they take, who knows, maybe they trade for Baker. That's the other one.
Cody, yeah, they're going tight end here. Grant Calcaterra, go ahead and put it up on the board. Watch the highlight tapes. There's a random tight end in this draft class that I think Seattle will take in the 6th or 7th round. They're going to take another tight end. You're not wrong. So it's just
J-Mike, do you actually like Karlaftis more than Jermaine Johnson, or do you just hate Pete Carroll and Schneider?
What's interesting is that depending on what mocks you looked at, and Tom, I know we're more of the Draft Network kind of guys. A lot of people have started going to, was it PFF had their own mock simulator this year that a lot of people started jumping on. And PFF's mocks, and I remember I tweeted this, Jermaine Johnson was a late first for them in their boards in all the rankings. And so I think that's super interesting in terms of where he's going compared to NFL.com, the Draft Network, some of these other sites, ESPN, and then boom, PFF has him as a late first-round pick. So maybe we're seeing that transpire where he falls a little bit.
Here's the pick.
Charles Cross, yeah.
Yep. It made sense. And that's the last offensive tackle they have there. So now this is where we get into interesting territory, right? Because we have the Jets coming up with Garrett Wilson. And, Jameson Williams is there. Chris Olave is there. They're talked about in, trading for Debo with that 10 pick possibly. Why are you going to trade for Debo and pay him when you have Garrett Wilson and Jameson Williams available? I don't necessarily think that's the smartest idea, even though I'm a really big Debo fan. I don't get it. So I think Garrett Wilson is the pick here if they do not trade down. This is a perfect spot to trade down or for a team to trade up. You could see Houston trading up to try to get a wide receiver if they have Garrett Wilson well above, Williams. You could see the Eagles trade up. You could see the Ravens trade up. There's a bunch of teams. The Saints could even want to trade up for a wide receiver if they have Garrett Wilson and Jameson Williams that high above. Talking about the Chiefs, the Packers. So this is where I think we might see our first trade of the day. This makes the most sense so far.
Yeah, okay, so we talked about this in the pre-show. For whoever who wasn't with us in the pre-show, we talked about 4.5 trades was kind of that over-under for the first round, and we had 8 teams with double picks in the first round. So that's 8 teams that don't, have a pick in the first round, right? So there's a lot of opportunity for trade when you look at the Chiefs with 29 and 30, the Packers with 22 and 28, I believe, Giants with 5 and 7, Jets with 4 and 10. Like there is just a ton of opportunity for trade. And I think it is just crazy that we haven't seen one yet. We're almost to we're at pick number 9, right? Or no, we're at pick number 10.
We're at 10.
We have not seen a trade yet. We have the 3 top offensive tackles off the board. We have the 3 top edge rushers off the board. Only 1 offensive skilled player in Drake London, Kyle Hamilton, and Sauce, right? No, Stingley and Sauce were taken. So
yeah. So we're looking at the board. So I'm going to be selfish for a second and talk about 15. You have Garrett Wilson. You need 6 players. Wilson, Hamilton, Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Jordan Davis, and Olave. Like this is going pretty horribly for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking for a wide receiver, I agree with Walito. I think in our mock we had, was it Drake London going here? We had Drake London going here with him off the board. Garrett Wilson is a guy that can play anywhere, right? You want him inside, he can play inside. You want him on the outside, he can play outside. X, Y, Z, wherever you want him. He is very versatile. I think that's what's really exciting about him as a prospect. Really, really safe, right? He, in my opinion, still needs to work on some things in terms of route running and kind of cleaning up some of his route running. But I think this is a player that absolutely can fit. If they want to have Corey Davis at that X, they want to have Elijah Moore, who's didn't play as much in the slot as I actually thought looking back on some tape. So he can kind of be moved around. I think this is really good for Zach Wilson if they do go with Garrett Wilson here.
Yeah, no, Garrett Wilson, I think he's a fantastic player. Matt Miller has his comp as Robert Woods. You see a lot of comps to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is just a route running maniac. So Wilson needs to clean some of the things up, even though I think he's the best route runner in the class. He's not that bad, but
no, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Just when I see some of these other individuals, Sky Moore, extremely crisp. You know that I'm big on Chris Olave. I think he's one of the best route runners, if not the best in this class. And here's a guy that can probably speak on this class better than any of us. Christian Welch, hot off of his other draft shows that he's been called to because he's growing in the industry, guys. Not only is he with – hold on. I gotta hype up our guy a little bit here.
Okay.
I don't know
I was going to say he doesn't talk 2022 rookies anymore.
Not anymore. He was doing that in 2019.
He's on to 2024 guys now. 2022 is boring.
Yeah. But hey, first of all, we haven't talked about this on air. Fantastic news where you are joining the Fantasy Pros as kind of a Devy contributor. I saw some rookie profiles. So, hey, it's not just Devy stuff. You're doing some rookie profiles. Saw a really good Jeremy Ruckert profile. Christian, first off, congrats on that. And second, I see the Atlanta hat. We know you're a big Falcons fan. What'd you think about the pick? Give us all the thoughts.
Well, appreciate that awesome intro there, Robbie. That was exciting. It looked like y'all were arguing Chris Olave a little bit when I came in, so I want to get back to that. But
well, hold on. I want to hype you up a little bit too.
Okay.
Because this is something. Hold on, the pick's in.
Okay, you want to hype him up? You cut him off, and now you stop. Like, okay.
Well, it's the Jets. This could be another offensive player. You know.
Smart.
Currently,
pick.
the Falcons are the only team with a fantasy player.
Yep. So
well, not anymore. Garrett Wilson
35.
to the Jets here.
Yeah, and Christian, let us know if you're behind or early. We're trying our best because we know Twitter's spoiling the picks early. We're trying to stay off of Twitter, not spoil the picks early. We're waiting until they come on the screen. So if you're a little bit behind or early, that's kind of what we've been trying to do here. But yeah, before we talk about Garrett Wilson, go ahead.
Hold on. So Christian came up with one of the things that I think is going to be the most useful for players that play Devy, which is I saw you came up with a Devy trade chart, which is fantastic because when you talk about trading Devies, it can get so confusing when you talk about, all right, if you're in Superflex, the quarterbacks, and then the draft years, it's 2 years away versus 1 year away. So that's awesome. I think that's probably going to be your go-to. I hope you update it, like every week during the season. Good for you. Way to do it, because I know that is a ton of work to do and keep up with, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be exciting though. Like, there's not really a Devy trade calculator out there, and with the space growing now, with college football gambling being legal, more people are coming into wanting to bet on college space, and as the format grows, that's going to be something that they go to. Think about when you were a brand new dynasty player, you probably leaned on that trade calculator a little bit more than you do now. It's something that I think will help the beginners and, is nice to have there just for a little validation for even the experienced players. So over the next month, I'm working on making sure that it talks to the dynasty trade chart at Fantasy Pros to where you can actually see like, okay, how's this NFL player valued against this Devy player? If I'm looking to, punt and rebuild for the future, how's this veteran valued against, a Bijan Robinson from next year. So it's going to, continue to evolve over the next few months, but hopefully it ends up being a tremendous resource for people wanting to dabble into the college side of fantasy sports.
Yeah. Walito, the Saints have traded up to 11.
Uh-oh. I really hope they take Kenny Pickett instead of Malik Willis. I'd be so happy.
I really just hope they take a quarterback in general because the Eagles own their pick next year, and it's going to be a train wreck.
Hey, give us the details on this trade. Guys, who do we think they're trading up for? This is probably going to be Willis.
I think it's Willis. Yeah. If it's Pickett, I'm going to be ecstatic.
Falcons fan says he's going to be ecstatic. Walito's pumped up for Malik Willis. We're going to try not to spoil it here, the actual pick when they make it. But
I'll spoil it.
It's probably Tom. You gotta stay off, man. Do the best you can,
dude. I'm trying to get the terms.
Yeah, get the terms for us when you can. So Christian, real quick before we get to that pick, let's talk about your team here. We thought maybe quarterback. We thought maybe Garrett Wilson. A lot of people had him. I don't know how many people were talking Drake London to Atlanta. What did you think about that pick?
I've seen it mocked a little too much, but apparently there was some good enough smoke around it to where there was a reason people were mocking it. I wanted Jermaine Johnson. I mean, the Falcons have had a good offense my entire life, and it's done us absolutely nothing. So how about we not have a bottom 10 defense in the league at some point in my lifetime? So I would rather have built the trenches this year, worried about the skill positions and quarterback next year. But if we were going to take a receiver, nothing against Drake London, the guy's an absolute stud. But we've already got a pretty big-bodied receiver in Kyle Pitts, So, like, the fact that we now have, like, these two giants out there, I think Garrett Wilson would have been a better pair with Kyle Pitts than Drake London. And even on the Jets, I think Drake London would probably be a better pair with Elijah Moore than Garrett Wilson, who does more similar things to Moore. So, London wouldn't have been my choice if we were going that route. But, I mean, he's a tremendous player. I'm not, like, throwing stuff at the wall about it, so.
The Saints are trading the 16th pick, a 3rd rounder, and a 4th rounder for Washington's 11th pick. So that's not that bad. Yeah, and I'm with you on Garrett Wilson being a better fit there. But you know what? They just like Mariota, falling back, doing his back foot throw, where he just throws it really high.
Why are we interested in winning games this year, though? Like,
you shouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm cool with a 3-14. Let us get our pick of Bryce Young, CJ Stroud next year. Yeah, I'm good with that.
No, that's what I would do if I were you. The problem is you have so many teams with the same line of thinking.
Yeah.
So we have 6 teams already with multiple first-round picks. So that's an interesting one. And I think Washington just did a really smart move there, moving back and picking up that 3rd and that 4th. Especially after they had to give up a 3rd-round pick to get Carson Wentz. So they get that back, and they probably take a player who's going to be similar. We saw Kyle Hamilton getting mocked to them. We saw a wide receiver getting mocked to them. If the Saints are trading up for a quarterback, one of those guys is likely going to get pushed down. It's go time, man. We're coming up on pick 12,
11.
Now,
right?
Tomorrow night,
11?
You guys know I'm a Matt Corral fan. I would not be opposed to the Falcons grabbing Matt Corral tomorrow night.
Who did I tell you a long time ago?
Desmond Ridder too, but I would rather Corral. I got Desmond Ridder as QB3 in the class, but Corral's my QB2. I love Corral.
I just don't think he makes it there, but I agree. Mm-hmm. Guys, when we're talking about,
I'll take the over on that.
Over on
Corral. I think Corral's over was 34.5, and I had him over.
Yeah, I don't know if he lasts that long. Let's go back to the wide receivers because we have 2 landing spots, right? 2 guys that have been the same tier for a lot of people, Drake London and Garrett Wilson. Now, if you guys have the opportunity to select one or the other in a draft, how did you have it pre-draft? How do you have it now, knowing one with the Falcons? Not a ton of competition. Marcus Mariota for a year. We'll see if that's any longer. And then on the flip side, we have Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. What do you think, Tom?
I mean, we saw Braxton Berrios be a thing, right?
Oh, RIP.
So, I mean, I'm still going to go with the talent here. I've kind of trained myself not to kill wide receivers for landing spots, going back to A.J. Brown, which I know a lot of people did. So I'm still going to stick with Garrett Wilson as my wide receiver 1 with these landing spots. You still have some juicy teams with wide receiver needs. Treylon Burks goes to Walito is livid. We still have some teams at
what happened?
Oh my God,
why is Walito livid? Let me know what's
he is on Canada time, and we don't know But
man, if Walito's upset, I am happy. Nothing against Walito. The man's a Saints
dude.
fan.
I hope it's Olave. That'd be because that's what he's saying. We could have had him at 16.
Don't tell us. I want to find out.
I don't have it.
Yep.
I do have the actual trade terms: 16, 98, and 120. So that's
for five spots, right? 16 to 11. Yeah. Going back to London versus Wilson. I agree. I was somebody who liked London just a little bit more than Wilson, which I know is not consensus. And then I just think that he just fills a lot of vacancy there with Ridley not being in that lineup at least for a year. We'll see if that's longer. So I'm going to continue to have London above. Christian, how did you feel pre-draft, and how do you feel now with those two?
Well, pre-draft I had Wilson ahead. I mean, and currently I'll still take Wilson ahead a lot to what Tom said. I think the public is probably going to value London ahead of Wilson. I mean, this is a clear, target share type deal here for London, to where people are going to be like, man, he's the only guy in the wide receiver room there. And people like Elijah Moore, so I think that they're going to look at it as Garrett Wilson's fighting with Elijah Moore and Drake London's fighting with no one, just because Kyle Pitts has the tight end designation. But, it's still Wilson for me. I had London wide receiver 4 in the class. I prefer Jamison Williams and Treylon Burks as well for fantasy purposes. But still Wilson for me. Narrowly, though. I mean, I think the top 4 receivers in the class, and even Olave with the draft capital he's probably going to get tonight, like those top 5 receivers are pretty close. Like it's a good tier, I think.
So we have back-to-back trades, Robbie.
Hold up. We're still getting the pick, right?
Yeah,
they have the most random. They have the most random individuals up here. We got Austin Eckler, Tony Gonzalez, random Chiefs guy, random Chargers guy.
Tony Gonzalez is the man.
It might be. Is it Walter Payton Award winners?
Okay.
Maybe?
But
the Lions traded up from 32 to 12, so this leads me to believe that they're not taking Malik Willis, especially based on Walito's.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is not Malik Willis based on Walito's, and good information on the 12 there. Man, Minnesota goes back to 32. They've got to be getting future capital and then probably their second, right?
And
they're
this is going to be a nightmare for me because if the Eagles take McDuffie with 15, I'm going to lose my shit.
Does Minnesota get their 32?
You want Jamison Williams, Tom?
I would love Jamison Williams.
Jamison Williams is
I don't necessarily, but here's the thing. I would love Jamison Williams as an Eagles fan. For fantasy with Jalen Hurts, I don't really like any wide receiver that goes to the Eagles, to tell you the truth. Yeah. As far as fantasy, I'm not bumping them up because of how much they're going to run, and I don't know who the quarterback is next year yet in Dynasty.
So, I mean, as we sit right now, I think we're still waiting on Saints pick. Walito's got it. I'm sure anybody spoiling on Twitter's got it. Man, if he dislikes it this much, we got to be thinking about a non-Malik Willis quarterback or probably a wide receiver, right?
Well, here we go. The wrong wide receiver, according to
Hopefully it's something totally random. I hope it's just a disaster.
Jermaine Johnson?
That's who I wanted. I wanted Jermaine Johnson.
Chris Olave.
It's Olave.
I told you.
And that makes sense. Like when you look at Chris Olave and what he does in the Saints, he just feels like a Saints wide receiver. But I agree with Walito that they didn't need to trade up to get him here. They panic a little bit. They see a couple of their top wide receivers go off, and maybe Olave is the last one in the tier for them before you see a little bit of a drop. Man, that is probably a little bit of a reach, even for an Olave fan here.
So here's the deal: we got the Eagles coming up, right? So I'm gonna be selfish for a second. And I'm gonna talk. Lions just traded up. That move from 32 to 13 has to be for a quarterback, right?
I would assume so. You're not trading up that much. I can't imagine what they gave up. It might tell us here, but 32, 34, and future capital probably.
Hold on. Yep. 12 and
Steelers
46.
fans are losing their minds right now.
All right. Actually, it's not a future first. It's 32, 34, and 66.
Okay. Yeah, not the future.
So it's 12 and 46. Yeah. 12 and 46 for 32, 34, and 66. And in a really deep draft, that's really not bad. And so they didn't give a ton up. And if they get the quarterback of their future that they really like, along with Aiden Hutchinson, so you walk out of this draft with Aiden Hutchinson and Malik Willis.
Detroit traded to 12 is where they went?
Yeah, if you are,
and their picks already in. So I mean, they jump this, they make a big jump. The picks
gotta be Willis.
Take the full. It's gotta be Willis,
dude. Aiden Hutchinson and Malik Willis, and you didn't give up a future first round pick.
Which nice haul. I like the Giants haul too. I wasn't on here when those were, but Thibodeau and Neal, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I will say this, man. The Eagles are going to have at their disposal at 15 either Kyle Hamilton, Jameson Williams, or Jermaine Johnson. And Jordan Davis is going to be there.
That's nasty. Yeah.
So, and they come back at 18. So if somebody says, okay, they want McDuffie or they want Penning, or, somebody says, okay, time to trade up for Kenny Pickett.
The Texans in the play for Jameson?
I would think they should be. They were in talks to trade up to 10, I think, for a wide receiver. And Walito is laughing. Wait, curious when Minnesota didn't just. Oh, okay.
So as we're talking, right, fantasy dynasty, especially dynasty with the three of us here, Olave goes with the Saints here, gets Jameson Williams right off the cuff. Are you guys moving Olave up into a different tier? For me, he was already in that tier, but I know other people weren't as high on him as I was. Where does Olave fall in comparison to the other two that have been taken?
I've still got him wide receiver 5. Like, to me, none of these landing spots are extreme one way or the other to make changes on the rankings yet, right? Like, if it's the Green Bay landing spot, we're going to get excited. None of these have been that extreme to where it's enough for me to move my rankings. So I've still got Olave wide receiver 5.
Yeah, and the crazy part is the person with the most stable situation is on the Jets with Zach Wilson, because they spent the 2 pick on him. You have 2 wide receivers attached to quarterbacks who you have no idea if they're going to be there beyond next year. They're probably not. You have Mariota, and you have
Jameis Winston's workout videos look pretty good, man.
Right, but you have
those. Always do.
Eagles traded up to 13, huh?
3 straight trades. So hey, as we don't see any trades in the top 10, right? And we were worried about that 4.5. Are we going to hit the over on these trades? We now have 3 straight at 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
So if the Eagles are moving up, Tom, who are they aggressive on?
Jameson.
So this is this is one of the things I did in our mock draft. I moved up from 18, not 15. So I'll give up a 3. I have 2 third-round picks and I have a second-round pick. We'll see what they do. But I'm moving up from 18 to 13 based on what I've seen other teams give up. And then you're guaranteeing yourself Jameson Williams, Jordan Davis, Jermaine Johnson, and Kyle Hamilton. If that's the case.
That's nice.
Are they going Hamilton or are they going Jameson Williams?
I think they're going Jameson. I mean, the NFL doesn't look at Burks the way we look at Burks, and this is a big teardrop here now that we've had the other 3 taken. I feel like the Eagles see the end of a tier here, and they're going to get their guy.
Yeah,
the Eagles traded 15 and a 4th. Here we go, pick.
Yeah.
What up, J Mike?
Oh my goodness. Did they really all of that trade up for Jameson Williams?
So they're not getting Jameson. But the Eagles traded 15, 124, which is a 4, and then 162 and 166, which are, I think they had a bunch of 6. So I think this is for Kyle Hamilton.
Hold up. The Lions took Jameson Williams, not Malik Willis?
Yes. All right, let us know if we're spoiling that for you, if you need us to.
Oh, no, I don't care if you are. I'm not emotionally involved here. It's just data.
It's just that I love. So for those of you who do not know Christian as well as we do, they're all just numbers for him. He's trading players.
I wish them the
weekly.
best. Don't make me sound like one of those guys. Like I wish these guys the best, man.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
You hate him. Everything's personal with him.
Yeah. So I like how J Mike mentioned this. We were just kind of rolling through some picks, and now we have 3 straight trades. Slows down a little bit, and I think, what would you guys say? 3 straight surprises, I guess, with these trade ups. Like I wasn't expecting.
I feel like we've got more action though. Like the beginning of the draft, we knew there was no fantasy relevant players, so it was just like, oh, cool. We're talking about offensive linemen and edge rushers. This is cool, But now, I mean, we're having in-depth conversations about what's going on here. I kind of felt like an Eagles fan there for a second, getting excited about Tom seeing the trade up for Jameson.
Yeah. Well, I saw the Eagles pick.
Okay, save it for us. Here's what I think is interesting, Christian. Before you jumped on, I was mentioning with Akash how we've had 6 wide receivers taken in the first round. It happened in 2020, happened 15, 2009, happened like 6 times since 2000. We've never had 7 wide receivers taken. We already have 4 in the top 12 picks, right? I think we're maybe at a point where does Pickens get slid up a little bit? Does Watson? Does Sky Moore? Forgetting somebody there. Dotson. Burks is going to get in the first, I think. So it's the guys that were kind of on the edge, right? Those 4 that I just named, kind of late first, early second, mid second. Do we get 2 of those guys to sneak in, and now all of a sudden, Tom's going, this can't be a good pick for the vino is being tipped empty.
There we go.
It's not bad.
Is it an offensive player?
That would be.
Well, what other offense? No. So it's definitely not with the way the board is. It's definitely not. It's not an offensive player.
Yeah, Mike, that's Tom's TV. I've got mine muted because I can hear Tom's as well. He's giving me the sound, so I am slightly behind Tom's TV. But glad we're all in sync. I like that we're not too far ahead of each other. But man, that's so interesting about the wide receivers. Can we get 7 for the first time ever? It just takes a couple people continuing to, I would say, reach on these guys, right? Would you guys say that a couple of these have been reached, especially because you traded up, spent capital to get these guys where you probably could have gotten them?
What? I'm processing. Go ahead. Say it again.
You're processing? I guess let's just change gears because we're talking wide receivers, but I like J Mike's point here. He likes Williams going to Detroit here. It's got the opening, right? We got Amon-Ra across the middle. We've got a burner with Jameson Williams. We've got Goff for a year. Nate Henry jumped on and said maybe 2 years, right? Swift, we have to remember Swift was on target for 110 targets or something like that. Hawkinson, right. We're starting to get a lot of pieces around here for Goff, and then we'll see what happens after that. This is starting to become a more explosive offense, especially with this pick right here.
And they have multiple first-round picks next year. So we know they could take a quarterback. It feels like they're building that offense for a quarterback, right? Whether or not it's Jared Goff and Jared Goff is good enough to be that quarterback, we don't know. But you saw the movement with quarterbacks in the league. They're going to have the capital next year to do it. Teams aren't necessarily, or quarterbacks aren't necessarily going to be like, I don't want to go to Detroit because it's a dumpster fire. Because now you have legitimate wide receivers, a good running back. The defense is going to get better because of the coach. You have Aiden Hutchinson, who was the best player in the draft, in my opinion. And, it's not going to be that spot where like, I'm going to go to Detroit and die. So that's a good spot. I like it. Plus, you have to think about they're going to be playing from down. So the from behind. I'm sorry, not from down.
I understand. I understand your nonsense.
Words. But that's where you get those garbage time points. And as fantasy, fourth quarter points versus first quarter points, you don't differentiate them, right? So yeah, you're gonna see him from Jameson, man.
What I love about this is I'm a big Jameson fan, and I think the public hates the Lions and thinks this is gross, probably. Right. And we know that Sky Moore or Watson or Burks or one of these guys that hasn't been picked yet is gonna land with Green Bay or Kansas City, one of the trendy places. And maybe I can get some more Jameson Williams at the 111, 112s. Than I would have been able to get before because people are going to bump some of those guys up because of landing spot because they don't like this Lions landing spot. So I hope that happens so I can end up with more shares of JMO.
Yeah, So you think he's going to fall that far just because of landing spot?
I think all these
people
guys
overreact, man. People overreact big time. Clyde Edwards-Helaire went over Jonathan Taylor, man.
Yeah, no. What do I think? I have to wait until they say the pick.
Yep. Tom,
I don't want to.
Tom can't give his opinion. Christian, who do you think the Eagles traded up to grab here? Jameson, maybe at the time, did they already know he was going to be gone? Who are they going?
I mean, I would say Kyle Hamilton.
Yep. That's what I think. Walito, Christian, you guys got any thoughts? Well, Walito already knows. He knows 30 minutes.
The Saints are trash, is my thoughts.
J. Mike, have you got any thoughts here on who Tom's Eagles are going to take? I'm thinking Hamilton as well. Charles Cross, I mean, offensive tackle isn't the bad – or no, he's gone, right? Cross is gone.
Well, that would be a horrible pick.
Cross is gone.
That'd be bad.
I gotta update.
So you still have Andre Dillard, who I could see them trading. You have Mailata, who they just extended, who is fantastic. And you still have Lane Johnson. So if Lane Johnson goes down, if anybody – they have 3 tackles, basically. They have 3 very good tackles.
I'm looking to pick ahead here at this point, but is there a bigger guarantee in the NFL draft that the Ravens are just going to sit there and like great defensive players just going to fall in their lap?
I already know who the Ravens are going to take. So let's move on a little bit here.
Well, who are they taking? You can't just tease it like that. We thinking
I already
Jordan
know
Davis?
who the Ravens are going to take. I don't actually know, but I know because I would give it away because I know the Eagles pick. This is what Baltimore does. Baltimore stands pat.
I get it.
And waits for people to fall.
Why you do this, Tom? We just had to wait a little bit longer.
I did. What did I do? What did I do?
Okay, J. Mike, this is what I think, but Tom's kind of spoiling. We thought they traded up for Kyle Hamilton. It sounds like they did not get Kyle Hamilton. He poured the rest of his wine out. He would have been happy for this. I think Kyle Hamilton's still available is what he's saying, and that means
who'd they take? Was it Booth?
Well, no, they wouldn't have traded up for Booth. No.
Well, we've seen.
If it was McDuffie, I would be getting my blue label. No, I would get fucking. There's the first curse word of the show.
Not bad.
I would get the shittiest whiskey I have in the house, and I would just start chugging.
Yeah, J. Mike.
Jack because
I would say Jordan Davis was just the consensus need, right? They've needed an interior one tech plug guy for a bit here since Nada left the team. Jordan Davis is the most popular mock. It fits. It makes sense. He's a top 15 player in this draft. But now if the guess is correct and Hamilton's still on the board after this Eagles pick, man, it's a toss-up now between those two.
What do you think about Jordan Davis?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
that would be a great fit.
Do you like him as a 3-4, just specifically a 3-4 and like nose tackle, or do you think he can play defensive tackle in a 4-3?
I'm not going to act like I am the most in-depth on defensive players, but from a lot of what I read on the Draft Network, and I follow NFL.com.
Go ahead.
Draft Network, and I think that he's able to be scheme dependent or scheme versatile, right? He can play in that 4-3-1 tech. He can be the nose that can do two gap guarding there. Let's see who the Eagles officially take. For those of us who don't know, man, who is it going to be? If it's not Hamilton, I haven't thought.
Really quick, hold on.
Give me Malik Willis. Give me Malik Willis for chaos.
No, there would be things would have been thrown.
Okay.
Treylon Burks at 18 for the Eagles. So he's saying it's not a wide receiver. I would love that because Treylon Burks is a monster, and as much as they're going to run, he's going to be able to run block. And
we can't have Jordan Davis there, J. Mike, because Jordan Davis goes, hey, I don't know why you're upset about that pick. I'm
not really upset. So
Jordan Davis is stud.
So it's funny. I love Jordan Davis. I love Kyle Hamilton. That's all it comes down to. It's like, all right, I really would have wanted.
The Ravens are taking Hamilton now, right?
And that's what I was saying. It's like that's what the Ravens do. The Ravens sit there and they get Hall of Fame worthy players to fall to.
Always, man. Always.
And that's all they do, man. Like them and the Steelers and the Patriots. You're just like, what? Well, Patriots don't even draft that well, but it's just one of those things.
This is what scares me as a Cowboys guy here.
Right.
That's what scares me with J. Mike's comment there. Fletcher Cox. Jordan Davis.
Fletcher's on a 1-year deal.
Well, because he's 39.
Yeah. But you have Milton Williams, who looked pretty good, and you have Hargraves.
Milton Williams, you guys picked him early third, like right before the Cowboys. He was the guy I was really excited about from a defensive tackle standpoint, and you guys jumped or you guys already had the pick, whatever it was, took him right before the Cowboys pick. I love that pick for you guys.
And that was the pick where, if you remember, Howie's going around fist bumping people, and
yeah.
Old Hoss is just like, fuck off, mate. I didn't like that pick. But yeah, no, I don't hate that pick by any means. I would have went Hamilton there. Hopefully a team. What they need is somebody needs to jump up and take a damn quarterback.
I like it. We are getting close to that 2013 draft that I was talking about, where the first quarterback doesn't come off until E.J. Manuel goes to the Bills at 16. The only other offensive skill position to go before that, and in the top 20 in general, was Tavon Austin at 8 to the Rams, if I remember correctly.
Speaking of 16, would the Commanders take Willis potentially?
Yeah, man, with that trade back.
It's just so I don't think they do, because I said it before, Christian. Wentz is such a mental midget where I think he would lose it.
Well, he's already been there for a month. Has he already had some beef with front office or teammate? Like, I feel like that's been the MO last couple of places he's gone.
So the Saints are going to get another shot at 19 right before the Steelers. The Steelers have got to make a move up here if they want it before the Saints.
Yeah.
And
but here's the thing. If you don't have a big difference between Willis and Hamilton, so this is where it comes into play, is you don't have a big difference between Willis and Pickett. So teams aren't jumping and spending a bunch to trade up, because the first one goes, it's like, meh, whatever. Okay, that's perfectly fine.
I think some teams have a pretty big difference between those two.
They may, but we haven't seen that jump up, where if they miss out on them.
Yeah. I think the Panthers being in love with Pickett because of the Matt Rule connection has got him propped up a little bit more than the NFL thinks of him.
I agree, because we were talking before you jumped on, Christian, that that connection made sense if they made the pick, but it would have been a reach, right? He shouldn't probably go at 6, but they don't have another pick until the 4th round. So what are they going to do? When we saw him, when he didn't go there, we talked about, hey, in some of these mocks, Pickett's fallen to the 2nd round. Like, he's not even in the 1st round conversation if you're not putting him to 6. So I think that's
what I
really – go ahead.
Yeah, I said that on the other show that I was on. I was like, if Pickett doesn't go at 6, like, he's going to fall a long way, I believe. So
would you guys say
how far it is?
Would you guys say maybe Willis here, either Saints or Steelers, and then could Steelers go? I've seen this popular in the last week, Ritter at 20.
It's possible we see a run once they start going, but from all reports, the Steelers are enamored with Willis. Like, I don't think that they want to just stand pat at 20 and watch him go at 19. I think we're going to see the Steelers make a move here, because when you're looking at the landscape here, it seems like the Texans are going to roll with Mills. Tom just brought up the investment in Wentz from the Commanders. Justin Herbert is with the Chargers. The Eagles are not going to take a first-round quarterback. It gets to 19 right there with the Saints, and then the Steelers. That's most likely where it's going to happen. So I think the Steelers want Willis enough to where they're going to have to move in front of the Saints.
Okay, we got Ravens pick is in. I think the Kyle Hamilton fall, which a lot of people talked about, he's probably a top 10 talent. People aren't going after safety in the top 10. He goes all the way here, maybe at 14. I think this is probably the spot where he comes off the board. If he doesn't, any other thoughts, or are we just saying it's Hamilton and that's it?
I think Jermaine Johnson's kind of a BPA situation at this point. He's fallen like almost 10 picks from where we've seen. I mean, I've seen him as high as 5 at one point there. So I mean, he's fallen quite a bit here. So he's a candidate at any point, I would say.
No, and that's who. Looking at the upcoming picks here, I would think if the Eagles can't get Jermaine Johnson, Burks, or Kyle Hamilton, which is not going to happen, they need to trade back. But I just completely lost my train of thought there. You said somebody, and then I mentioned something else.
No, you're good.
How would you feel if the Eagles took one of the different receivers instead of Burks that early?
Not great, Bob.
I didn't have the Eagles and I did a
Kyle
mock.
Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton. I didn't do.
It's called. Hey, I'm a good franchise, and this is what I do.
The Ravens are such a great franchise, man.
I'm so jealous. They really are. It's like
they're amazing.
It's like what you aspire to be. They don't have to spend a ton in free agency. They
pick up the lunch pail. They pick up the lunch pail and they go to work. Right?
They sit there at 32 and just grab Lamar like it's just a normal.
Actually, they traded up for that pick with the Eagles.
Ooh. It was at 32 though. Like they casually drafted Hayden Hurst a couple picks before it, not even worrying about it.
I know. So
and
they
drafted Andrews in the third.
Andrews in the third after Hurst goes first, and they're like, "Oh my God, they're so smart! They took Lamar. They took Hayden Hurst before Lamar." But still, they knew, hey, we have to trade up for Lamar. But to answer your question, I don't think I think the Eagles are likely going to trade down after trading up. I had them trading up in our mock, and then I wanted to trade down at 18 if possible. If I would have done that, this is something I would have tried to trade up from 18. If I was the Eagles, I would have given a third up, so I could have gotten Jermaine Johnson or Kyle Hamilton at 15. They're going to miss out on that. Who do we have coming up here?
We got Houston, right?
All right, so that's the Eagles pick at 15.
Who's Houston going here in the mock? We had them. Oh, we had them trading back. We had Chiefs coming up for James.
What? Walito?
What's that?
What? Is that for real?
Probably, man. He's ahead of the game here.
Yes,
with his news.
No, they trade Arizona trades 23 to the Ravens for 100 and Hollywood Brown.
I love it. This is why you keep the Bateman shares landing spot. They question the landing spot. You say, hey, trust Rashad Bateman, baby. Trust that talent.
I have a keeper league where I have Rashad Bateman as like a 16 and Hollywood is like an 11. And I was like, well, I can't keep both.
What was the Hollywood deal, Tom?
That was number 23 for Hollywood and 100. So that's Hollywood and a 4, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, the comp picks, I think 4 starts at 104.
Or a really late comp pick, yeah.
The comp pick, yeah. Man, that is super interesting. And you know what's really interesting about it is that they're not trading up because they're picking in the next 1 or 2 picks. Right? They're not picking for another 10, 8 picks. Like that is, they don't have anyone in mind. They just know that they want to get into this area.
I think so. I think what happened was essentially it was all right. Arizona saying we want a wide receiver at 23. They saw the run.
Yeah, good call.
And they said, shit, we're done. Our guys are gone, and Burks is probably going to go.
100%.
So, holy shit nuggets.
There's some small guys on the Cardinals.
But they're fast as shit, man.
They are fast.
That's what they do. So that entire offense is about spacing and just optionality, son.
With Kyler, Rondale, and Hollywood, though, I mean that's some small guys.
Hey, put some respect on Antoine Wesley in his name, okay? That's been my guy for a minute. He's finally getting some snaps out of Texas Tech. J-Mike knows. J-Mike in the chat knows about Wesley. He's been my guy for a minute, so we'll see if this.
Just wait for the Auden Tate 6th-year breakout here on the Falcons, baby. Let's go.
Hey, they're fighting for a roster spot probably.
So hold on, this is something else about this. So this is something else that why we talk about Baltimore being a smart franchise, right? So this is Hollywood Brown going into year 3, correct?
Man,
I believe so.
I believe so.
So 3, 4 tops. We'll get the information for you. Somebody look it up. But
going into year 4. Going into year 4, yeah.
So he's going into year 4. So he's contract eligible to get an extension. They see what wide receivers are getting, and they say, we're not going to pay you an extension. Oh, that's fantastic.
Kenyon Green. That was one of the picks. If we're talking going all the way to 24 here with my Cowboys, it was a lot of Treylon Burks, a lot of Kenyon Green, Kenyon Green can just play so many positions on your offensive line, so flexible, so good. It was surprising that a lot of people had him lasting all the way to 24. I'm not surprised he did not last all that way. We got Washington up now. Washington pick is already in.
That escalated.
There we go.
We're back to that full steam ahead.
Yeah, but so legit, the Baltimore looks and they say, okay, we don't want to pay that kind of money to a wide receiver, especially when they haven't given Lamar an extension. And they say, okay, we're going to trade you away. And at 23, they're going to still have wide receivers available to them. It's not necessarily going to be Hollywood, but Christian Watson, deep threat. Burks, deep threat. They could Jahan Dotson. If they draft Jahan Dotson, they don't have to pay what they would have to pay to extend Hollywood. Then who knows, man?
Yeah,
if they want a skinny little deep threat guy, they can grab Calvin Austin on like day 3.
Right, and that's another thing. That's the draft is deep enough where they can do that. But this goes back to saying, okay, it's a smart franchise.
Oh yeah,
that's just. I'm angry. They took Kyle Hamilton after I didn't get him. He's going to be a Hall of Fame player, and I'm happy for Hollywood. Let's talk Hollywood though.
Hey, J. Mike, you know who that is. That's 100% Tom.
Well, I needed
100%.
to vibrate, so I annoy you guys.
You know it's Tom.
No, it's not. It's on silent.
Ooh.
It's been on silent.
So what do you guys think? Because a lot of people are talking Mark Andrews, right? He can't get 154 targets again. He's going to regress, and maybe that still happens. We have a lot of other options in the draft still for them to take pass catchers, but we have Mark Andrews, we have Rashad Bateman there. You guys obviously stock up for both of these guys. Lamar Jackson, is this a little bit of a concern for him? What are you guys' thoughts just for these other Ravens fantasy options?
I'm never concerned about Lamar. I'll take Lamar any day of the week. I don't care who he's got on his team. But yeah, definitely stock up for Bateman. Andrews, should have already been pretty high up there anyway. I don't think he's going to move much higher against other positions from where he already is.
Do you move
stock down for
higher than
Rondale
tight
Moore
end
right
one,
now, I'd say.
or-
Yeah,
Can you
for
move
sure.
higher than 1?
Was he one
I don't have him
for
one.
Dynasty? Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
certainly
think most
take
people
Kyle
have.
Pitts over Andrews in Dynasty.
Most people have Kyle Pitts, but Commanders make a surprising. Thanks, Walito.
It's a little teaser. He's good at teasing it, not spoiling it. He's good at teasing the pick.
He really is. It'd be fantastic if they take Kenny Pickett and it just. I want him to take a quarterback just because I want to see
waiting.
Carson Wentz get ruined again.
Still waiting.
That and the Eagles need that to happen.
Man, they lost their guard, right? They lost Scherf. Who's that center? We got Linderbaum maybe up there for a potential pick. Trevor Penning with tackle. I can't remember what their tackle situation. I have to pull up the roster, but I think someone on the offensive line with how many guys are there. Jermaine Johnson's still falling here. A couple of options.
I could see Zion going here.
What's going on with Jermaine Johnson? Did he hit the gas mask earlier today or something?
It was funny. So you had we were talking about it earlier. PFF has him ranked incredibly low. So they're the only publication I saw that did that, where his over under in Vegas was 9.5. So this is one thing Vegas either got wrong or they just suckered a million people into taking unders on Jermaine Johnson. So I don't know. I would love him to keep on falling, and then the Eagles get Jordan Davis and Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, there's obviously some production, and we saw the 3 DNs go off the board right away, and then you have I'd say a decent tier drop before you get to Jermaine Johnson, and then people maybe had a second tier drop to Karlaftis, but maybe the NFL is viewing these guys as, hey, we can get Jermaine Johnson or Karlaftis. We see them pretty similarly. That could be the situation where it's just, hey, we'll take whatever one is falling to us here in these late teens, early 20s. That's how I'm rocking, J. Mike. I'm not getting spoiled. I'm leaving it. I like viewing it here on TV, hearing it from Tom's TV there in the background. That's what the draft's about. I get it when the masses get it, not the Twitter masses, I should say.
Just saw Washington's pick.
Hey, J Mike, we got Walito Mortensen, we got Tom Schefter, and we got Robbie Goodell right here leading the way for you, hosting from not in the basement. No basements here in Kansas, but if I was in the basement, a little throwback to the COVID draft, right? So Robbie Goodell got you. Let's see, pick is in. Yeah, a lot of people there. They're not doing the boats. The boats was a no-go.
Oh my God, Tom! The Adam Schefter tweet right now. Tom
Schefter tweet.
Tom.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Tom. Oh my God.
Keep it calm. Keep it calm.
Oh my God.
Keep it calm. Jahan Dotson.
Tom may get naked, right? Like Tom is about to get naked. Like,
this is
ridiculous.
He get birds?
You want me to tell you?
No, I want to talk about Jahan Dotson going here at 16.
It's not AJ Brown.
Hey, relax. They got AJ
How can he
Brown.
relax with that news, Robbie? That's
man. 2 Penn State. Okay.
AJ Brown dynasty stock down.
Yeah. Dang, that's some news to adjust to. We got Jahan Dotson going here at 16. And
oh my God.
Some spoiled news here. Does that mean we already have 17 in? How far behind is TV on these picks? I feel like we're not two.
I need these trade details.
He did, J Mike. He said AJB going to Philly.
AJ Brown got traded. Oh my God. And my wife yelled at me for screaming, by the way.
Yeah, woke up all the kids. Come on now.
This is nuts.
And what was the compensation? Do we know?
18. So they gave up a 1 and a 3.
What else?
That's it.
What
1
else?
And a 3.
But what else? Oh my gosh, there's got to be something else, right? That is. Yeah, man. It has been crazy. How many wide receivers, like J Mike says here with the offseason being drunk, it's like just take the wide receiver movement in this offseason, right? Tyreek, Devontae, AJ Brown. We have Debo maybe still on the move. Man, this has been one of the more crazy off seasons that we've seen in a long time. Russell, let's throw in Russell Wilson into that.
I just broke the news to one of my Titans fans friends, and he's very sad.
I mean,
yo,
we got 5 wide receivers picked in the top 16. I think we might hit 7, guys. I think we might have that record.
So, dude,
good pick there, Zion.
Wow, that's dude, a 1 and a 3. Robbie,
what's up, brother? What do you got for me?
If they gave up a 1 and a 3 and that's it, and they got Jordan Davis,
it's essentially what you. Hey, here's what it is. It's essentially what you gave up for Devonta Smith, right? Because you traded with the Cowboys, you gave up a 3.
Yeah.
You used your first. What you guys are saying is, hey, Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, you're our first and third worth wide receivers here.
No,
Are the Titans going to take Malik Willis? They going to take Burks?
I think I'm back on the Howie train after that one. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm so distraught.
What are the Titans doing here? Let's shift to that real quick. What,
man?
What's the
deal? They didn't even get dude. They didn't even give up 83. They gave up their late first 101 or late third 101.
Yeah, that's man. This wide receiver market is wild right now because I think what they're finding, and I don't know if it's specifically with the Titans because you're going to pay AJ Brown, right? There's no questions about that. But when you see the Christian Kirk deal go through and you see that market reset, it's like all of these guys that are about to get paid, they're moving teams. Like obviously you got to pay these guys for the talent, but we see them all moving teams right at that contract year.
So what are the Titans doing here?
My pants are off. Treylon Burks. It makes too much sense.
Does he make it? I mean, we were at 5 wide receivers gone in 16 picks. Treylon Burks has to be the next one off, but we have Saints already took one.
Well, the Titans are on the clock now.
Yeah,
right?
Titans are on the clock right now. Yeah,
it's got to be.
And now their number one receiver is Robert Woods currently now. So and they're a win now team. Yeah.
Hollywood and AJ Brown got traded within like 10 minutes.
Isn't that crazy though? How these guys trade, but then pick somebody at the same position. Like I get it. It's gonna, you're
resetting when you have to pay them. That's basically what it is. It's kind of what you and I talk about with Dynasty.
Yep.
Right?
You're resetting your years.
They're buying back years is what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really true here, that they win in similar ways here. Treylon Burke, obviously, he's the guy that can run out of the backfield, is just a weapon all over. Can he beat you deep? Can he hit you with the cross? A lot of people kind of soured with Treylon Burks after the combine. I was not one of those individuals. He's been my wide receiver 1 from the start. I thought the combine, while the other numbers weren't great, the 40 time, people are ragging on him. That's fantastic for 220, 225, whatever he's at. Yeah, man, I'm a Treylon Burks fan, and I'm excited to see where he goes. If it's with the Titans, I don't mind that spot at all. You're with Robert Woods, 30-year-old Robert Woods, Tannehill kind of at the edge of his time probably with the Titans. I don't mind that landing spot at all. Yeah, that run after catch, absolutely. Absolutely. That's yards after catch, run after catch. Who's the guy in this draft at the wide receiver position that you want? That's Burks. That's his call to fame. Is his run
thing,
after
that 40
catch.
time is crap. Like he's hit 22 miles an hour. Like that guy on the field is as fast as anybody.
Mm-hmm. No, and then you look at his size speed score.
Too happy.
And
fantasy managers are going to make the same mistake with him that they did with DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
And AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, different reasons with AJ Brown for sure. But yeah, man, I feel like so much action's happening right now. I want to eventually get, and we rank some of these guys again because they're kind of going boom, 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 boom. Jahan Dotson's kind of the interesting one thrown into the mix. We haven't really talked about him. What do you guys think about Jahan Dotson jumping into that mix there?
Let's talk about Terry. So you have him and you have Terry McLaurin. Is Terry McLaurin getting traded now?
No, because they don't have anybody behind him. They have Curtis Samuel
but it's the same deal. It's the same deal. You take a burner, and McLaurin's up for a new contract, and he was in trade rumors and everything. That's just another one where he might be on the move because they may have. So you can look at it two ways. Okay, they have another receiver, or they just replace that receiver who's going to have to get paid by somebody else.
I think they just had the need, to be honest with you. Sometimes we talk about this and we see the number 1 wide receiver. We're like, man, is that guy out? We talked about this with I remember Kevin and I went back and forth with James Robinson. I was like, they can like James Robinson and still have to take a running back because there's nobody else in that room, right? We look at the wide receiver room for the Commanders, and they have to absolutely make a pick for wide receiver at some point. Did they have to trade up? Or maybe they traded back, right? Did they have to trade back and still in the middle of the first take Jahan Dotson? Probably not. You have a lot of other depth there, but the way these wide receivers have been pushed up this draft board, they probably felt the burn, just like some of these other teams.
Eagles extended AJ Brown already. 4 years, $100 million, $57 million guaranteed.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. Good night.
I mean, I don't think you're. Huh? Who's the big winner? Wow.
Yeah, man, we got some disgruntled fan bases right now. J. Mike not loving the Walker pick right off the bat, it sounds like, I'm going to guess. And then Walito obviously upset with the trade up for Olave. A good player, right? But do you need to trade up for him?
So listen, J. Mike, we Eagles people, we're nice people. We're not like
incorrect.
We're not trying to be mean to people just for no reason.
People. Incorrect.
As a whole, we're very generous. We don't throw things at other people.
Pinocchio knows right now.
Dude, I don't even know what to do with my hands right now. I'm gonna go break out the Blue Label. Jesus.
But here's the thing. You're not done picking. You know what I mean? Like that trade should have ended your night. Should have been like, well, I'll see you guys on day 3. I know tonight you're not picking again, but it's like you're back at it tomorrow.
Well, they had 2/3, so they still have a second and a third. And when you think about like what the Dolphins gave up for Tyreek, AJ's younger, and AJ Brown might be the best wide receiver who got traded this year because he's younger than the other two.
Oh, dynasty wise for sure.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Walito, don't
Treylon
do
Burks. It's too easy. It's okay. Let's replace this guy with this other guy.
Man,
So that trade, right? So that trade at 18, I guarantee you, the Eagles and the Titans had worked out. Like, if this happens, we're doing this. You know what I mean? If these wide receivers go off the board, we're gonna do this. Let's pull the trigger. That was already in place.
Burks is still wide receiver 1.
He's still what?
He's still wide receiver 1 in the class.
I like hearing you say that because I know a lot of people have moved off that. You had him as wide receiver 1. You're keeping
I haven't
him
budged
there.
ever. Yeah, I've not budged at all ever.
And is he in the same tier? I think you probably had Garrett Wilson at 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had Wilson 2, Jameson Williams 3, London 4, Olave 5. All pretty close, but yeah, they're all pretty close. Yeah, Olave wasn't in the tier initially, but he tested so well. And, I mean, he was just so productive for so long, and clearly the NFL likes him a lot with that draft capital. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, Treylon's been wide receiver 1 for 2 years now, and there was not ever a need to move him.
So I had Treylon at wide receiver 2 behind Garrett Wilson. And I think I'm moving him up to wide receiver 1. They were both in the same tier for me anyway. I'm not positive at this point, but that landing spot does not hurt him. And I'll tell you what, like, he goes into that AJ Brown role, so to speak.
Stepping right into it, man. It's
seamless for that offense. You see why the Titans did it. You see why the Eagles did it, obviously. And that's just a really good trade for both teams overall.
I love it because they bought back years, and that's my thing. I just love it. It's just
they did, and that's something that's something smart franchises can do.
Years and money, right, Christian? Like the years, same as our dynasty conversation, but now your money wise too. Now I think we probably need to talk about like there is going to be a talent gap. I would say year 1, year 2, right? There's probably going to be a talent gap, but man, for what they do. And how easy it is to make them a playmaker, right, with what they do already. It's not like you are training someone up that needs refinement to be a good fantasy asset, right? Like he's going to be a good fantasy asset because of what he does. You don't have to wait for him.
Now here's the area of the draft we were talking about 5-6 picks ago here, the 19 and 20 here with the Saints and Steelers, both who could take QBs. So what's going down here, these next 2 picks?
Yeah, let's reset the board here. Where are we at? We're at 19 with the Saints. Walito's really hoping Willis goes here. Man, Saints pick is in, is what I got on my TV. Yeah, I mean, the Saints can go a couple different directions. I think we had them go in Trevor Penning here in our TFA mock draft. There is that needed tackle. They lost their longtime tackle, blanket on his name in free agency. But there's that need. Defensively, a couple of spots. We're talking about Jermaine Johnson still falling. Trent McDuffie, that's another name that we need to see called here soon.
Get your work visa, bud.
Get the passport. Let's go.
Yes, what'd they do? I love that the Saints are trash again.
Well, thank you, J. Mike. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to stay sober at this point because I don't even. It's not even the alcohol. I'm just so happy. I don't even know. So I've been crushed.
Yeah.
With the wide receivers that they've taken, like as they've taken them, you could see the soul leaving my body. So for them to do that and get Jordan Davis, it helps. If they would have had Kyle Hamilton, I may be ass naked. You may have seen my ass.
Don't sell Jordan Davis short. I think that's a really impressive piece for your defense that is old. You've lost some pieces, need to replace them. I think that's a really good piece for the defense.
Isn't Jordan Davis faster than Kyren Williams?
Yes, he is actually. And did you not like? So Cody must have taken a break from me right here because I got yelled at by my wife for almost waking the children up and calming her heart rate down. But
I can't believe your shirt's still on. Like I'm shocked.
Doesn't need to be. I'm just saying.
Chicka what?
16.
What were we talking about, bro? 16-inch vert, dude.
Hey, Tom's not falling asleep at the end of this live stream. That's what we'll say. No, whoever missed it.
I am wide awake.
We don't call him
the
Thomas,
night isn't even done yet.
We don't call him Thomas Sandman Corson for nothing.
Bruh.
Okay, so we got Saints pick getting announced here. Here's some yelling. What's happening here?
So Cody fell asleep at the right before Hollywood gets traded. AJ Brown goes. Oh, that's fantastic. This is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, so J Mike, you had properly noted we've had 6 wide receivers off in just the first 18 picks. The record would be 7 for the first time, and we still have. Let's see what this pick is real quick. Yeah, Green Bay Chiefs.
Why is that? So Trevor Penning. All right.
Hey, we got another pick right. We got another pick right. He wanted Willis.
So I don't think there's. So you have Trevor Penning now to back. Basically, he backfills from Teron Armstead, and Trevor Penning is he's an angry man. So I don't hate that. You had a needed offensive tackle. So
I feel like Steelers fans are going to lose it here if it's not Willis. And here's a bigger discussion, kind of taking it back to fantasy football here, Dynasty. If these quarterbacks continue to slip, I mean, this is a concern, even in Superflex, that you're going to take these guys as highly as we usually would just because they're quarterbacks. I mean, these guys may not get first-round draft capital at this point, you know?
This is like Geno Smith territory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, J Mike, Kev made this pick on our TFA live mock 6 days ago. So yeah, good call by Kev here. And they had the need, right, with the free agency move. So really interested to see who the Steelers go here. Probably going to be Willis, right? We have the quarterback need. I can't really see them going anywhere else. I mean, they do have needs on defense. Their defense has been getting older. They've lost a couple pieces in this offseason. They're still rebuilding that line, right? We got to take Trevor Penning off of the availability. Guys, any thoughts if it's not Willis? Any thoughts there?
I'll just be shocked if it's not Willis. And like I said, I'll be legitimately concerned about the quarterback class. Like, you know, I was somebody last year. I was always taking Mac Jones over Devontae Smith, and I was getting hammered for it. And I would always defend it. Like, look, this guy's a top half of the first round quarterback. You got to take that in Superflex. And we're past that point now. Like I said, every quarterback taken is a back half of the first round guy from this point on the rest of the night. And at this point, I'm getting skeptical. I mean, if the Steelers were to pass on Willis, I mean, his value's got to drop at that point going in the 20s. I mean, I didn't expect him to last this long. We've got to adjust his value a little bit, in my opinion, at this point.
Yeah, so lowest quarterback before this was EJ Manuel at 16. Now we're here at 20. Curious if it'll be here. I'm going all the way back. I'm at 2002. Nope, a lot of ones there. Okay, we have Chad Pennington, 2000 at pick 18 to the Jets. That was the latest, and we have that beat here at 20. So we got to go back to the –
Geno Smith went in the second.
As the first quarterback off the board?
Yeah.
What year did I miss here?
I don't know. But let's talk wide receivers that are going to go. So we still have Green Bay has 2 picks. Kansas City has 2 picks.
EJ Manuel went in that draft. So EJ Manuel 2013. Geno Smith was second.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have 18th being the latest since 2000. Already have that beat, but does he go here at 20? Who's the next wide receiver off the board, guys? We've got Dotson as the surprise. Cody wants to know what we think about Dotson. I mean, from a pick standpoint or from a landing spot standpoint, Tom, you were a little concerned. Is it replacing McLaurin? Is it working alongside him? I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad, right? It's not a great offense. But I don't expect Jahan Dotson to be great year one. Jahan Dotson is a guy that I expected to need some molding. He's not going to be the guy that breaks out year one. And so I think it's a guy, if you're excited about him, you're going to get a value on him because all these other wide receivers are the bigger names. They went in the same area. You can get him now, back end of the first, early second in super flex, right? Maybe even farther down, right? Mid early second.
Dotson?
Yeah.
Early to mid second.
He's tough because you don't know the stability at the quarterback position. He's the wide receiver 2 when he goes there. You're probably going to get good value with him.
And that's what I'm saying, right? If you like him, you're going to get good value. If you didn't like him, it's like, hey, I can push him back where you probably had him anyways, right? Like for me, he wasn't a guy that I was super excited about. Didn't love the hands a ton. Thought he had to work on routes past the deep route, right? So I absolutely think that he needed some molding to happen, and it can happen in this situation where now you don't have to take him with that late first. If he landed with the Chiefs, boom, he was going to shoot up. If he landed with the Packers, he was going to shoot up. Now he doesn't do that. You can take him where it makes sense if you like that upside.
Yeah.
I just saw the Steelers pick.
I saw the Steelers pick too. So we have 2 wide receivers left that possibly could go in the first round.
Give me 3 with Pickens, Moore, and Watson.
Okay,
Watson.
Pickens. You can include Pickens. Sorry. Watson, Sky Moore, Pickens. And you have 2 teams that have really big needs there. I
love the homerism. Any Penn State player, mark them on the board. Yeah. So you guys both saw the pick. So I might be, maybe it's J Mike and me rocking here as the only unknown to the Steelers pick here. Going to be quarterback. Yeah, but Tom, you were mentioning Pickens, Sky Moore, and I think Watson's probably getting overrated at this point where he's got to be a second round guy. But let's just talk about those first 2. Who do you think could be the next one off the board, given the teams that need a wide receiver still? Cowboys probably being one of the top ones, right? They're at 24.
Yeah, I could see all 3 of these guys going off, which is crazy because I think there's going to be a teardrop. And one thing, hold on, we got picks. We got picks.
Tom starts sentence. Here's the noise. He's like a dog.
Ding, 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 ding.
Squirrel.
I'm not a squirrel. I'm waiting for suspense.
Oh man.
All right, hold on. I'll talk real quick. We're talking about these wide receivers. John Mechie.
Yeah.
56.5 was his over under. He's gonna get pushed up big time just because of the needs there with teams and wide receivers that have already gone. And that we're still going to see go because you're going to see 2 more go at least. So you're going to hit that over 6.5 easy. So I think we're going to see 8 wide receivers go in this draft.
This doesn't bode well for the Packers and Chiefs fans. Like, right?
No,
this doesn't bode well at all. I mean, George Pickens is still a guy that Kev really likes for the Chiefs. Sky Moore, he likes him as well. There's still options there, but I think they're a tier below some of these top 4 or 5 guys, right?
I think so. And Kenny Pickett.
I only see 2 teams that could take Willis now the rest of the way in the first round.
So we were incorrect there, Christian, when we were saying, hey, if he doesn't go at 6, can he fall out?
I thought it was only the Panthers. I'm really surprised by this one.
He's still the QB1 here at pick number 20. The Pitt.
Well, no. So is Tampa a team?
That's what I was about to say. Tampa and Tennessee are the only teams I see that could possibly take Willis the rest of the first round.
Why not? Well, the Vikings just extended Cousins.
Cousins is pretty good.
No, I know. But I'm saying if the contract situation was going to dictate that, then I think you can see somebody. So with quarterbacks and then getting that 5th-year option, I think you can see somebody trading up. So let's look at the early second round.
Yeah. I think we need to talk about trade opportunities here because we have 2 Packers picks. We have back-to-back Chiefs picks. I don't think Chiefs are making back-to-back picks. I think we get somebody to slide in there and take the quarterback, right? Like there's going to be
So at this point, you have Houston at 37.
At this point, I'd be down for the Falcons to trade up and take him.
Yeah,
I think we have multiple seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me look. But hold on. Seahawks have 40 and 41. So if it's a guy they thought about taking at 9, then yikes. You have the Falcons have 26 in the second, which is 58 overall, and 43. So that's another team that can trade up.
Hey, we had Pickett to the Steelers in our TFA mock draft. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks correct.
So Brandon Lejeune said, "Does anybody even have anything right in their mock? Like, you can't have more than like 4 picks right in your mock." Dude, we got 7 right.
Now, obviously Olave is correct. Just they traded up to get him. And Neil, we picked at 5. He went 7. So we can put a caveat with those ones. They're not the exact spot. Penning, did Penning go at 19? Yeah, we got that one exactly on. So the exact spot, we got 5. Overall picks, we got 7 correct so far.
We're doing pretty good, man. It's almost like we like football and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I was waiting for this. I love this. I was like, man, the clock is too far gone. There's probably not a trade, but the Patriots always trade back. We were talking about this pre-show. We were talking about this with Makash when he was on. Patriots are probably going to be one of these trades, right? We need 5 trades to happen in the first round to hit the over. Here is trade number 4, correct? I think this is trade number 5.
Is it 4 or 5? I think it's 5.
Who's trading up here?
Chiefs are now at 21. And man, are we going to continue the wide receiver run? Is this going to continue? Is this Pickens? Is this Sky Moore? What do you guys think?
Whoever it is gonna see a little stock up. That's for sure.
So
let's look
20.
At defense.
It was wow. It's 29, 94, and 121 for pick 21. So let's talk about the fact that the Chiefs just gave up more draft capital to move up to 21 in 8 spots than the Eagles did for AJ Brown.
Man,
Howie, you son of a bitch. You got me back.
They need some corner help for sure here.
Yeah, is this McDuffie? So I almost think this feels more McDuffie than wide receiver.
They need some corner help. I mean, they got Frank Clark, but they definitely could use an edge if Karlaftis was really enticing to them. I'm thinking maybe McDuffie if it's not the wide receivers, right? Defensively, I think that's a need for them. Yeah. Is that corner? Yeah, J. Mike. I think it feels like a pick that would make sense, but it feels early. But all of these picks have felt really early since we saw Olave get traded up for. We saw Dotson go early. All these have felt early, but it makes sense. Pickens, and that would make the Godfather Kev Steele a very happy man. He's been a big Pickens fan, and obviously being a Chiefs fan, that'd be a good marriage there. And if they went wide receiver, we got Green Bay right behind him at 22. Yeah, that's a great point, Walito, because I'm just seeing that here. You know, obviously Green Bay picks 22. They have a wide receiver need like nobody else right now. Man, this could absolutely be.
Yeah.
And I think it's Pickens or Sky Moore.
Pickens or Sky Moore. Which one? Let's put it on the table. Which one do you guys go with?
I'm gonna go Sky Moore because Pickens has some lingering nonsense right now.
Sure.
I'm gonna go Sky Moore just because of the fit there. But who the fuck knows at this point?
Man, I'm gonna go Pickens. I agree. There's the off the field stuff, which is why a lot of people are mocking him into the second.
So you say Pickens, we say Sky Moore. That means it will be Christian Watson.
That's so true. Or somebody that we've been missing here that's just falling. I mean,
here we go.
We still got Jermaine.
McDuffie.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I like that I could hear Tom's TV there. That was a little more intense than the other ones.
I turned it up.
Yeah.
Well, I can turn up the pick so that way we can hear it a little bit for guys that aren't necessarily watching it.
Christian, J. Mike,
So
got a question for you.
Yeah, so Georgia's backup running back behind Kendall Milton, Kenny McIntosh, has some legal trouble popping up lately. He was going like 30, 40 miles an hour over the speed limit and got into a car accident that he caused, leading the lady that he wrecked with to be injured severely. He fled the scene to drop George Pickens off at his apartment so he wouldn't get in trouble with him. So those guys are kind of in some legal mess right now for a hit and run in which they've severely injured a lady. And this is just coming off of several things throughout his college career there. But with this one having somebody injured and them fleeing the scene, like literally just to get Pickens out of the car, it's a bad look. So some teams are a little off put by that. So that's the only reason I went Moore ahead of him. I had Pickens ahead of Moore in my rankings before that popped up, but I think that being so close to the draft could scare off some teams.
Absolutely. And there's the other stuff, the suspension, right? Thrown out of the game. I think it was a team suspension and thrown out of a game for fighting. So just, it's not crazy stuff. We've seen it before, but just some of the stuff adds up and it probably concerns some teams. So not saying that everyone has to be concerned with it. It just takes that one team and boom, he's right there in the first round, especially the way these wide receivers are going. I see the Packers pick is in. So yeah, it could still be he lands in the first. It's just, there's maybe some question marks there.
I think this is where Pickens goes here, and this is interesting because we have Green Bay, who needs fantasy relevant players. We have Dallas, we have Baltimore, and we have Buffalo, who could be the landing spot for Brees. So we're in this zone now where we have 4 straight picks where they will be fantasy relevant, and we're either going to be disappointed or our rankings are going to be adjusted.
I gotta update this. McDuffie.
Enhance.
We did not get McDuffie correct. Who'd you take McDuffie for in that? You took him.
I took McDuffie early for the Vikings.
Which I can see them going cornerback. I mean, that's why they traded back, because they have a lot of needs defensively. They definitely could use that trade back for sure. Get multiple pieces in this defensive draft.
So where's Jermaine Johnson this fall, by the way?
Hey, and then this is what's really interesting, because we talked about it. PFF, the only site really that's not putting him in the top 15, top 10-ish area, and here we are at pick.
Well, the Ravens are on deck, Tom. So, you know how it goes.
It's the stars are aligning.
Every damn pick,
every time, baby, there they are.
Every time they're like, well, maybe we'll get a wide receiver. Well, Jermaine Johnson's there. He was 6th on our board. So we got our 4th and 6th ranked guys on our board at 14 and 23. So we feel pretty good about our draft.
Ravens fans, be still my telltale heart. That is.
Dude, Ravens fans, let me tell you something. Ravens fans don't even need to watch the draft. They tune in afterwards and they're just like, of course we did it again. They have smoking jackets and pipes and everything. Good for them. I'm jealous.
Who's going to Dairyland here? Who's going to Dairyland? We think Pickens?
Yeah, same thing as the Chiefs. I mean, it's more.
No, you switched it. You said Moore, and now you're switching to Pickens?
I'm sticking with Moore. No, I'm sticking with Moore.
I think Pickens makes the most sense as far as fit with a blatant need at the X there.
Man, who can come in and just be a slicer route running wise? Sky Moore feels like the pick here.
Oh my sweet mother of Jesus, Quay Walk.
You heard linebacker Georgia, and I thought the same thing. I was like, Nakobe Dean. No. That's fantastic. Quay Walker. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're exactly right. All I heard was linebacker Georgia, and I was like, oh, okay.
First linebacker taken, correct? Because we didn't have Devin Lloyd, right? We're still waiting on Devin Lloyd.
Yep. Or
no Christian Harris. No Nakobe Dean. All these guys are kind of.
I'm pretty sure Quay Walker was at plus 1,800 or so to be the first linebacker taken off the board.
Yeah, definitely. After Devin Lloyd, I think was the favorite, and then Nakobe Dean was second. Christian Harris right there with Quay Walker, I think. So
let's
many Georgia players. So many Georgia players.
So let's talk best available remaining here. We have Jermaine Johnson. Obviously, that's who is the big faller of the draft. I think everybody agrees. Daxton Hill. Then we have 2 linebackers in the Kobe Dean, Devin Lloyd. Obviously, Malik Willis still falling.
Malik Willis, Thor Nystrom's overall
the Bills just traded up.
Bills trade up
from 25.
No, the Bills still have 25, don't they? I think they traded up from further back.
No, they had 20.
Or what I'm looking at, it's updating slow. I'm showing them at 23 and 25 with the tracker I'm looking at right now.
It probably didn't update it. It says 23 and 25, but yeah.
Who are they trading up for here? We gave him Andrew Booth Jr. Kevin gave him. They need a DB opposite of Tre'Davious because they lost, and I'm blanking on his name. They lost their other corner in free agency. So there's definitely a corner need here.
You got the trade, Tom?
They gave up 25.
They did?
Yeah,
okay, so it's 2-spot move up?
Yeah, so it's probably a 4. I'm guessing.
Could be the O-lineman from Iowa.
We're talking about Linderbaum. That's a need for them as well. That's a good call.
What do we got? Bilson 25 and 130. So that's a 4th round comp pick, I think.
That's good if you have a guy that you want. I mean, I think we would say that Booth is kind of the last of that tier, and then you have Kaleem. I'm blanking on his last name.
Dude from Florida, Elam.
Elam, yeah.
Elam. Yeah, you say I can't say names, but now all of a sudden pressure's on. What's up, boss?
That was fantastic, and it's probably a teardrop if you're following the people who do this for a living. Booth is kind of that last corner if you want to solidify it. So I could see that happening. And then Linderbaum, you talk about interior offensive lineman, shorter arms, so that's why he's fallen. If he had the arm length, he would be already gone. He's kind of in this Travis Frederick area, right? Travis Frederick went to the Cowboys at 31 and obviously was good. So I'm curious if that's one of those 2 picks, Tom.
I think that goes to positional value. He's a center.
Sure.
So I think that's what that goes down to. He can play guard. Like I know the Eagles had mentioned him if they were like a trading back and sliding him to guard for a year and then moving him back over while Kelsey. So he's got some positional like versatility, but I think he's going to be a stud. So it's funny because centers, you look at all pro centers and it seems like they always go late in the first, right? They go to really good teams with good offensive lines. They're a center. They don't have a ton of pressure and they just kind of ease into the role and they're studs for years. And that's what Lindenbaum is basically going to wind up being because he's going to go back end of the first probably to one of these teams who's really good. Just like Travis Frederick went to a team where you're like, all right, Dallas already has a really good offensive line and they draft a center. People are making fun of him. You're just like,
right.
Literally just solidified their one possible weakness on a line.
That's where I'm going. Hey, Tom. So let's say they go Andrew Booth here. Here's their defense, right? Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Von Miller, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano. Matt Milano is like your lowest name, and he's played fantastic. Dane Jackson is that left cornerback. That's the one where he'd probably be replaced by Booth. Jordan Poyer at strong safety, Micah Hyde at free safety, Tre'Davious White, Tron Johnson is their nickelback. That is a hellacious defense. Hellacious defense if they go corner here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Mitch Morse is their current center, over 30 guy that used to be with KC last, I believe. Might have been somewhere else before, right after KC, but definitely a need at those 2 spots. Oh, brother, bring him in. He's back.
I got a copy of the Packers plans. Their backup plan.
No better way to come in.
Every wide receiver that we expected to go in the first round is gone, and also Jahan Dotson. Man,
crazy.
What do you mean, and sequence. Also, man? By the way,
crazy ass sequence, bro. And then Marquise, AJ Brown.
Yeah, damn. There you go.
Hell of
you missed me running around ass naked.
The AJ Brown news was nuts.
That was crazy. It was like right after the Marquise too. It was So first we get Marquise getting traded. I'm like, holy shit. And then literally 30 seconds later, we have the Jahan Dotson reach. And I'm like, holy shit again. And everyone's talking about that pick. And then a minute later, everyone forgets about Jahan fucking Dotson because AJ Brown gets traded.
Yeah, no one's even going to remember that Jahan Dotson got drafted because of when he got drafted. Like, no one's even remembering
the other thing is, it's funny because people have been making, like, around Philly, it's like, oh, Jalen Hurts has been working out with AJ Brown. Like, they've been working out together for, like, weeks. And people
start the jersey swaps, and then it actually happens. You never see, dude, Eagles, I know you're an Eagles fan, but Eagles are one of the most delusional fan bases I've ever seen when it comes to trade rumors with their team.
Yeah. Well, but that's because
every single receiver in the NFL has a jersey swap to the Eagles.
Correct. Well, dude, Akash, the reason for that is because we have so many reporters and so many people covering the team that we get so much information. Yeah. Whereas, like, you go to an Eagles press conference versus a Colts press conference, and it's just like there's 6 dudes and they're like, "Hey, John, how you doing?" And they're like, "I'm doing great. How was your breakfast?" And it's just like
bills are up. Yeah, it's
Elam. There you go,
think,
man.
Besides LA and New York, Philadelphia is a top market in the.
Oh yeah, it's just when you talk about football in this town, it's a football town. We're nut jobs, so it's fantastic.
Elam to the Bills, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, and when you look at his fit along with Tre'Davious.
Oh, you guys already know about it? God.
Yeah, sorry, gotcha, bitch.
I thought I was the one talking about it.
Nah, son.
I was just sitting here still expecting Breece Hall until a second ago. You guys already knew it for me.
But I'll tell you what, like when you
related
talk
to Matt,
about,
right?
Huh?
He's related to Matt, right? Matt Elam?
No, sorry.
He's not? I thought it was like cousin or uncle or like.
You're wrong, kid. You're wrong.
All right,
but I'll tell you what, like when you talk about Buffalo coming up and playing press coverage with deep cover safeties now, being able to defend that, they have that, man, because Elam is a physical press corner, and then you have Tre'Davious opposite. That's really good, man.
Oh no, Jared's on the clock. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna pick Christian Watson? Is he gonna pick
Robbie? We got your team on the clock, bud. What's gonna happen?
Let's go, Robbie.
Jared, give me your 101 here. Are you taking Jermaine Johnson?
Put yourself in Jared's shoes. Who you want?
Yeah, man, this is what's interesting because all the guys that you have mocked to this team and that made sense for being at this spot,
they're gone, man.
They're gone, right? So now you have these other guys that are falling: Jermaine Johnson, Andrew Booth.
I did not think Jermaine Johnson was going to fall this far, bro. I felt like he goes as high as 4.
I wanted Jermaine Johnson with our pick. I thought
he could have been solid, but I was happy to get it.
I wanted Jermaine Johnson, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, we got AJ Brown." I was like, "Fuck off, dog."
Fine, I guess I'll have to take it.
Sorry,
what else did the Eagles get with the other pick?
They got Jordan Davis.
Yeah, that's the one. That was good.
And so many moves. Analytics over here. You should love Jordan Davis.
So many moves, bro. That was crazy. First, you have like all the trades up for wide receivers, and then you have all the trades for veteran wide receivers.
Yeah, so I was a little upset because I wanted Jameson or I wanted Kyle Hamilton.
Hamilton went right before past you, right?
Yes, the
Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens drafted the Hall of Fame player Kyle Hamilton at 14,
as they always do, right?
Yes, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about good franchises. Just sit there.
This has been a Ravens love fest here tonight.
That's right.
It has been, and there's no Ravens fans. That's the worst part.
I was just in a stream with some Ravens fans, bro. How they miss Hollywood already? That's tough.
Yeah, no, they do that. But the Eagles take Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis was in that tier of players that I really liked, so I'm not upset about it. I feel a lot better about the Jordan Davis pick after the AJ Brown trade up.
Definitely.
Because dude, I can't. They gave up a 3rd round pick, and it wasn't even their best 3rd round pick.
Yeah,
I can't.
When I thought he went for that first, I expected them to have at least a 2nd on there or more. He's younger and produces. I don't know. He's not as proven. Obviously, Adams and Hill are better, but
right. But you look at the volume Tyreek and Devontae have gotten versus AJ, and AJ
they earn a lot of targets
with less targets. So
yeah. It's just like Adams and Hill, like different level of wide receiver. AJ Brown's certainly good, But I'm surprised that he didn't fetch as much as them. I would expect him to fetch similar amount because, less proven but younger is really good.
Yeah, I would expect it 4 years, 120 rather than the 100.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the pick trades because they got.
Oh, the pick. Yeah. I thought the extension was a little low too.
Yeah, those teams got like a first and second for their wide receivers.
So it seemed like everything was just a little bit low. Right?
Yeah.
Like it was just a really good deal. So even the 57 million guaranteed, it was lower than what the other guys wanted.
Yeah, I feel like this has been brewing for a while. And AJ
and I said that to the guys when it went down was okay. The Titans essentially said if Treylon Burks is on the board, we're gonna make this deal.
Makes sense.
I feel like he loses about a round of startup value though.
Take that narrative and run that they traded away AJ Brown because Treylon Burks was there. Take it and run. Yeah. Man, it'd be fun. I still am wondering where Mr. Malik's gonna go, bro. Tennessee.
So here's another one though. So AJ Brown dynasty value. Does he drop for you guys, or does the volume
he drops about a round in startup value.
He should drop.
But does the volume really concern you a lot because he didn't have a ton of volume in Tennessee, and now you have Jalen.
The volume's worse, the quarterback's worse, and the competition for targets is worse.
Yeah, I'm not saying to plummet him
down
in the rankings.
All those things don't matter to me as much as volume. I still expect AJ Brown to dominate targets, but they all knock a little bit. They're all like little small jabs that will not hurt his dynasty value a little bit.
You know who this is painful for the most? Tonight, I think we've seen no bigger hit for any other person than Devonta Smith.
Yeah, kind of rough.
I don't know. Rondale Moore kind of got hurt tonight.
Rondale was already trending towards face planting though. And Smith's not going to face plant.
Rondale got hurt, but Hollywood taking away targets versus AJ Brown is a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
who you want in dynasty right now? AJ Brown or Breece Hall?
I hate to admit it that I was wrong in the pre-draft process, but Devonta Smith's probably better than Rondale Moore.
Oh, for sure.
You can say it.
He's just probably better. Now, I always add probably to every sentence because you're wrong a lot.
Stop saying probably.
Who do you think is better?
Devonta Smith better.
Yeah.
Oh, it was definitive there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
As definitive as one can get in fantasy football where no one knows anything.
I know everything.
Oh, yeah?
Who you think has higher dynasty startup ADP in
what number am I holding up under the table, Tom?
6. You have 6 fingers, freak. That was just on the one hand. Tyler Smith for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is, bro.
Yeah, OT. Yeah.
Pretty generic name.
That's probably a little bit of a reach.
He sounds like a good blocker because he's so generic of a name. Mm-hmm. Like a Zach Martin type.
It seems racist, Akash.
Get down on that.
Maybe it did.
Isn't Patel a more common name than Smith?
Yeah, probably.
I'm leaving.
Depends where you go.
So I don't hate the pick. I don't love the pick. It does nothing for fantasy values anywhere, but it shores up your offensive line. So is this a pick where you look at what other teams have been doing, aka the Eagles and getting Jordan Davis, where you're like, all right, we need to shore up our offensive line a little bit there, Robbie?
Interesting.
Especially with the Giants too, getting Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Yeah, I mean, they need offensive line for sure. They need guard more than they need tackle. At this point, they trust Terrence Steele as much as the rest of us don't. And you have Tyron Smith, who's aging every single year, hasn't played 16 games in 4 or 5 years. So this is a need. It's probably a little bit earlier than you needed to go, but he's probably that next offensive tackle. Him and Raynard.
Yeah.
Bernard Raymond. Yeah.
I'm the good part about guards is you can find them in the 5th round.
Real shit.
If they're in the right system.
Guard's the position where it's like a very flat curve from 1st to 3rd round, right?
Well, it depends on the caliber of player. Like if you have like
general
Nelson, like Zion was obviously Kenyon were above everybody else, but after that, it's like, all right, you're gonna.
Right, you have some guys at the very, very top, but then the hit rate's similar.
Right, and it depends on your system you run too, because you can find, if you want an athletic guard, an undersized guard like Evan Mathis, you can find him a lot later because, all right, it's a 6th round, guard caliber because he's 299 and he's a guard. but dude can pull in your system. So depending on your system, that's perfectly fine. So I like that pick.
That's solid.
And I can talk offensive line all day, and I'm really
You're gonna get muted here in a second. Hey, let's get Christian's thoughts here. We got Ravens who just traded Hollywood Brown. Wide receiver is probably a need. Do we see that seventh wide receiver come off the board here? We've been talking Pick and Sky Moore the last couple picks. They haven't come off. What do you think, Christian?
I mean, I still think they're going to take Jermaine Johnson. That's what they do. They take stud defensive players. But at this point, I could see the receiver more than I could last time, since there's a need now. But I still think
they don't have
a need. Jermaine Johnson.
They don't have a need. They have a need in the sense that they can add depth in the later rounds, but they don't have a first round need at receiver. They have Bateman and
definitely. I would go Johnson all day.
But Zion,
they have a need for a really good player that fell way too far, which is
which is what they do. They draft defensive
sons of bitches.
But fellas, I am about to pull a Tom over here and pass out. I've got to wake up at 4 a.m, so 2 hours is my my limit here with the live stream for tonight. So I'm gonna hop off, but it's been fun.
Hey, one more before you go. Favorite pick. Not trade, no AJ Brown. Favorite pick of this draft so far for you?
Well, me being a Treylon Burks as wide receiver 1 in the class guy, I love the Titans fit. Sliding right into that AJ Brown role. I think with the other fits, it's going to be hard for people that weren't on the wide receiver 1 for Burks train to not consider moving him there. I think it's the most attractive fit of the receivers so far. So I'm pretty happy with that one for fantasy purposes.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you jumping in with us. Love hearing your insights, and guys, check him out. He's on Fantasy Pro doing a lot of Devy content. He's still rocking a lot of 2022 rookie profiles and then actual profiles with us as well. So Christian Welch, give him your handle real quick.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Evil Empire FF. And again, you can find my written work with Fantasy Pros and then my audio and video content here with the Fantasy Authority. So it's been nice. You guys gonna be back on tomorrow night? May hop back on and chop it up a little more.
Yeah. Tomorrow, get the Godfather. Cody
day 2 is the real day for fantasy football. That's when the majority of our rookie draft is getting drafted. So
I don't know, man. All the wide receivers.
Except the wide receivers. They're all going.
All these wide receivers getting pushed up means we get to see David Bell.
There's about 20 intriguing running backs in this class, though, so we'll see
if
they get day 2 capital.
Good. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the third round.
Robbie,
is
I'll be right back.
For some of these running backs we like.
Right. When we see Brian Robinson go round 3 to the Dolphins and everyone pumps him up, well, we know that we found our next Trey Sermon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, what's crazy about this year, at least with the running back position, like you'll see like 25 different names between RB5 and RB20. Right. And we don't know if they're going in the 3rd or if they're going in the 6th, right? Like the draft capital is going to dictate like an entire round's worth of running backs this year. So much. So I'm excited to get to that portion of the draft, but I'll holler at you guys tomorrow. Y'all enjoy the rest of the first.
All right. Later, brother.
Where the hell did Tom go, bro?
Tom probably had to use the restroom. He downed a lot of wine after the AJ Brown trade. So he got really excited.
Of course.
Yeah. So, man, this where does Willis go? Do any other quarterbacks go in the first? I think we're getting close to the point where Chiefs got to make some kind of move, right? Like, are they going to pick back to back? I don't feel like they will.
They already picked. What was it?
Oh, right. Yeah. Good call. They did the trade, right? So
yep, that pick with they traded with the Pats.
Man, I gotta write down all these trades.
I'm just looking at the NFL Network right now.
Who did they move for that pick? Can you remind me what was traded in that pick?
I don't remember. I don't remember the full trade.
Yeah, McDuffie, good call, J. Mike. They took McDuffie. And we knew they were probably going to do something right. They're not going to pick back to back. So can they land a wide receiver and make it 7 to have a new record in the first round? Do we see Breece Hall? We see Breece Hall go here at the end? We've got Baltimore's picks in, Tennessee.
I doubt we see it. I mean, running back needs. Who would pick him? I don't know. Is New England gonna do it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna see someone trade up for a running back in the late first, I don't think. But I think you could see teams moving up in round from round 2 to late round 1 to try to get a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe we see Malik actually be a second rounder, which would be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that really affects his super flex stock, because you have people that are looking at his upside and they're saying, hey, he's still my 101. Maybe he's my 102 behind Brees.
Yeah.
Now, if he falls out of the first round, we've had a lot of talk about these second round quarterbacks and how they don't pan out. I think you might drop him below that first tier of wide receivers, right? Your Burks, your Londons, your Wilsons. For me, your Olave's up there, Williams.
You drop further than that.
You keep going. Like, who else are we talking about at that point? Are you putting Pickett above him?
Yeah.
I
mean, it's not a question about rushing. It's a question about one's a first round quarterback and one's not. It really depends where he goes. We'll have to see. But if he goes in the second, then I don't know. You treat him like they drafted Linderbaum, the Ravens. That's crazy.
Yeah. So Linderbaum just puts people in the dirt, man. It's kind of an exciting offensive line, as excited as we can get it for offensive lines, right? With Ronnie Staley, Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses on the right side, and then you add Tyler Linderbaum there for J.K. Dobbins. I think that's really exciting if you're looking at a stock up for J.K. Dobbins there.
For Malik Willis, if he goes in the second round, I think it really depends what team he goes to, if they have an established starter or not. Because people are going to look at that. But I think you're going to see something similar to Jalen Hurts as a rookie, where he was a super flex mid to late second rounder. Obviously, you're going to be absolutely loading up on him there, because if at any point he ever starts an NFL game and starts NFL games for a long period of time, you're going to see your value not double, not triple, even more than that, quintuple, be multiplied times 10, like go from a late second rounder to a top 24, top 36 super flex asset. If he is a second rounder, and if he does fall to a late second ADP and rookie drafts, and that's what you're going to be looking at. Mid second, even as a second rounder, I'm still interested because of the upside of a quarterback who rushes a fuck ton. But
I don't know,
because he's not a great college quarterback, and so what you're relying on for elite projection is him getting drafted really highly, and so without that, it's a lot tougher to like it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just don't know in a super flex with the upside that people look at him, right? Like we had Trey Lance in a similar vein. We're looking at that rushing upside. We had Lamar Jackson in that similar vein, right? And so I don't think we're seeing him get to the second, even in super flex. I'm guessing he's going to go early second, right? We're going to have one of these teams that needs a quarterback. Your Seattle's, your I guess Lions, maybe not.
Jets traded up.
Other moves that they're doing.
Jets traded up just now.
Yeah. This is the 26th pick. This is what
who are they going to pick?
Titans.
Brees. Come on, Brees.
Oh, yeah.
Brees?
For sure. And let's go back. They took
Tom. You're missing something amazing, my guy.
I'm not missing
shit. With their first two picks, they took Wilson, and Wilson was at 10 and Sauce was at 4.
That would be a crazy haul. 3 first rounders to get cornerback 1, their wide receiver 1, I would imagine, or the wide receiver 2, right?
Overall. They need so much defensive
running
help.
Back 1.
They need so much defensive help.
That's a hell of a trade.
Jermaine Johnson or Nakobe Dean feel like, or maybe even Devin Lloyd feel like.
Maybe Brees Hall. Maybe.
I love
it. Stop it, please.
Let me dream. Mid Carter can rot. I don't know.
I don't like you right now. I want you to stop it.
It's because
Akash, are you underage drinking again, sir?
Not really. I mean, I am drinking, but not underage.
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
Stop it.
What you mean?
Are you actually 19 years old?
Yeah. Freshman that
19 years old.
Right?
You were born.
Beat you. Let's go.
I don't even want to think of. I graduated high school before you were born.
Yeah, that's what.
What?
Yeah,
dude. What's your birthday? No cap, yo.
Yeah, I mean, 2002. November.
I don't know. I talked to people who didn't witness 9/11, and I get nervous.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't born yet. It's not. Some people don't remember it because they were babies. I wasn't even born.
That's one thing. It's like you didn't even come along. You were a guilt baby.
Brutal.
Insanity.
Something like that. Hell yeah.
Oh, Lamar is not happy.
I know. I saw that. He's retweeted someone saying, "What the fucking fuck? We traded Hollywood heartbreak emoji, heartbreak emoji, heartbreak emoji," and he retweets them. It's kind of tough.
No, Lamar just straight up said, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Oops.
Yeah. While Lito shared in the Discord, James Palmer tweeted, "Cardinals and Ravens had that agreed upon and kept it quiet. Owner flew up to Las Vegas, picked up Hollywood Brown and his girlfriend, brought them to Arizona in time for Brown to come to stage during the Cardinals draft party right when the trade happened." So this was a well-known, in advance pick trade. That is wild. How do you keep that quiet in this day and age? You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly, bro. I was just watching draft day yesterday, and like, how the fuck did a linebacker prospect leak a trade? I don't get it.
You pancake eating mother.
You pancake eating motherfucker. Throw in the punt returner. I want Putney.
David Putney.
That's right, dude. That movie. He is such a bad GM. He is so bad.
It's so bad. But Jermaine Johnson just goes to the Jets here. And
damn it! Spoiler.
I have to say,
I was hoping for Brees.
I'm sorry.
That's a good pick.
Jermaine Johnson,
because they were talking about him at like 4 or 10, and
dude, Sauce, Jermaine, and Garrett Wilson.
Why did he fall? That's the question. Like tomorrow or tonight, we're gonna hear something about why he fell.
No, so I saw something else. Somebody said Jermaine Johnson is a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't fall. The media had him overrated. And it happens every year to somebody. It's like the league has him rated a certain way. The media is much higher on him. To me, Jermaine Johnson's upside was like a Brandon Graham type player. Good motor, really good player against a run.
Sure.
And that's a good player, but is it a guy you want to take in the top 10? Like, they absolutely slammed this draft. And the Jets, for me to say that about the Jets.
Hey man, Jets, we got to stop helmet scouting, bro. It's good. They've been making good moves for the last few years. They traded away Jamal Adams. They got franchise quarterback, good wide receivers.
Joe Douglas and Howie Roseman are doing big things tonight, huh?
I want to hear what you guys think. In Dynasty, Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson? Same situation.
Garrett. And Jags traded up.
What? Oh,
Jags
are they going to pick Brees? Are they going to go for the 3 for a running back?
You just want Brees to go to anyone.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
I think we're seeing some of these.
You just want that capital.
What?
Andrew Booth. Andrew Booth seems like the play here.
Is Dean off? Dean's not off the board, right?
Karlaftis is still there.
No. Dean and Lloyd are both available.
Yeah, Lloyd too. That's crazy. All these wide receivers pushing defensive players down the board. We thought it was going to be the other way around, bro.
Especially with the way the draft started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was all
how many trades are we at?
It was the New Orleans trade that kickstarted everything.
How many trades are we at?
I don't know. So right before the Eagles made the trade for AJ Brown and they trade up, the Sixers eliminate the Raptors.
Okay.
The Phillies beat the Rockies today. Okay. It's just a good day in Philly, baby.
Dax Hill, I think, is another.
Right twice a day.
Yeah, I think
broken clock's right twice a day.
That's true.
You calling me a broken clock there, bro? Little whippersnapper?
The Eagles a broken clock.
I think Dax Hill is.
You're a what fan there? 28-3.
Oh, come on now.
I mean, I like y'all for beating the Patriots. It was good. It was good to see them get beat. But
there you go.
Bird teams got to be rivals. It's just how it is.
Listen, so let's talk about elitist bird. Let's talk about birds. Let's go to the zoo. Let's talk birds here.
About birds.
The Cardinals are by far the weakest bird in the league, right?
But they're the best one, right?
The Cardinals?
They're the best team out of the bird teams. Other Ravens.
I mean, at the moment, but as a franchise,
I think I take Ravens above just because they're all around better.
Well, yeah.
Ravens.
Well, we're talking just straight birds, not football.
Okay, we can talk about the species, sure.
Yeah, we're talking species. So we go Cardinals.
Yeah,
are last. Ravens. I'll take a Falcon above them. It has to be. There's no. Where's a Seahawk go? Second?
Seahawks, they're like
Third.
I feel like they're third because they're not like an apex bird of prey, but they still are.
Right.
I think they're smaller, and then Eagles, Falcons are like the same tier. We can share
They're
at
the
the
same
top.
tier, but I'm going to take an Eagle over a Falcon. So
I don't know enough about ichthyology. However you pronounce it to
Eagles will eat other birds.
Yeah, I think Eagles are bigger, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, but they have it. It's a sport.
That's
with
true.
Falcons. So I mean, you can't have them below the 2, but the Seahawks got to be 3.
I'm with you.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I feel like Ravens could be slept. Nah, Ravens are slept on.
They just. So here's the deal: the Ravens are named perfectly because they feast on like death, right? It's
true.
Other teams' mistakes. You're like, why did you pass on Kyle Hamilton?
Yeah.
You freaking moron.
Why is it always them, bro? Like everyone always agrees.
It is.
Are they just aligning with themselves to consensus so that they see?
Dude, it's every year. Before you're like, it's Ozzy. And it's like, even when the Ravens should trade up, you're like, oh, they should trade up. And then they trade. You're like, okay, all right.
And
we're
they
gonna
get
take this
Lamar
guy.
fucking Jackson.
No, they don't. They slide back 6 picks, get the guy they were going to take anyway that's still falling, and they gained a 3rd. And then they're like, all right, we'll move a 5th instead of the 3rd to move up and get Lamar.
Yes.
It's insane. I don't know what they do.
It's good shit.
I
wonder who Jacksonville's gonna pick.
I don't know, man.
They picked Etienne at 25.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a running back, bro.
It could be. Nah, it's not gonna be, but it's funny to imagine it until we actually see it. Just for comedy.
Jesus.
Comedy? Come on.
Real quick, thanks to everybody who's rocking.
Defenders falling, and they're like, we got to make a move.
Hey, real quick, guys. Let's just do a quick shout out to everyone rocking with us. J. Mike, Walito, thank you guys for jumping in. I know Cody's been in and out. Ashton's dropped by. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. We are on hour number 3, still going. Tom's with us. Akash is back, and we are at pick 27. Baby. Yeah, Sandman's still awake.
Oh, I accidentally got.
I'm not gonna fall asleep all night.
I got a spoiler for the pick. You guys want to hear it?
Nope.
Hold on. Nope. Roberto, that is 9 trades so far tonight.
Nice. That's solid.
That is wild. What's our record? Do we know? Anyone got that quick stat?
I don't know, but I think that is the record.
That's nuts, guys.
That's nuts. Okay, so which wide receiver are we going to see go to the teams after Jacksonville?
Well,
I thought Pickens made sense with Green Bay.
What? Are you kidding me, bro? Nah, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense.
I'm like sitting there like, what the fuck is he?
I mean, I get the safety of Sky Moore and him just being.
I'm just trying to wish Sky Moore into first round draft capital. Don't mind me.
Who's that? Breece Hall?
No, I'm trying to wish Sky Moore into first round capital.
Oh,
Breece Hall will be
much safer of a pick. Much safer of a pick for the Packers.
Yeah, Breece Hall will be fantastic even if he goes in the fucking 3rd round. He's that good of a prospect outside of draft capital. But Sky Moore, I really like first round capital. Really, I mean, you should be thinking decreasing linearly as you drop from the 1st to 2nd round, even though the application is less than perfect. Like, what's the difference between 132 and 201? Functionally nothing, right? A little bit, but basically almost nothing. It's negligible.
Well, math.
79 picks, I think.
1 pick. What?
Math.
You doing math all right there, buddy?
No.
Yeah, I'm fine. I have a calculator.
Not you, the other one.
Other one.
Oh.
say the picks again. What's the difference between what picks?
132, 1.32, and 2.01.
Oh, I got you. I thought you said 132 and 201.
Yeah, it makes more sense over text. I'm sorry.
There we go. Okay. I was like, there's
right,
about. Yeah, go ahead.
So who has gained the most fantasy value tonight?
Bateman.
That includes trades. That includes.
Does it include rookies?
Yes.
Jahan Dotson.
Bateman. Jahan Dotson getting picked early is great, but he's not jumping over any of these other guys right?
Yeah, maybe. But
So
he's still going to be – you still have to put him in a higher tier than he was going to be if he was an early second rounder. He goes in the mid-first instead of late first or early second.
I don't know if he does. I don't know.
I don't love him as a prospect, but he's a mid-first rounder, and that's going to gain value.
You still have
Bateman has an argument. But
so you still have your 5 wide receivers plus we got Devin Lloyd. Okay, yep.
But just as a player compared to the rest of the dynasty landscape, he gains value. Like say it was just the 201, and now that includes a tier with Jahan Dotson. That pick where you were going to get Jahan Dotson at 201 gets a lot more valuable now that he's going to be viewed more highly because he was picked where he was.
I think it helps, but I don't think he leapfrogs too many people. That
he's not going to leapfrog anyone. It's just that he gets lifted compared to all the veterans too.
The 201. Let's say he was going 201 and he's still going 201. Your 201 is now more valuable.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree with that.
Because everything else was kind of expected. Like not expected, but they've gone around where we expect them to go. And then the moves for AJ Brown, Marquise Brown, they don't change value a ton. I think AJ Brown's a little bit down, and then Marquise Brown's a little bit up.
Hey Tom, when you post that to Twitch, none of our YouTube people can see, so you have to do that comment with the YouTube sign. Just gonna help you out there.
YouTube sign. There's a YouTube sign.
So
oh my god,
it's like it's so bad. Oh my gosh,
technology, bro.
Next to post a comment. Oh yeah, you can throw it up. Yeah, just do that. Just show it to people.
No, I did a 3 too. I even had like a typo in there. I forgot to hit the shift.
I'll show it for the people who are watching
3
there.
Well, he said, "Look, this is why I was saying."
Yeah, Jaguars pick is in. If we didn't talk about it,
Devin Lloyd. Yeah,
Devin Lloyd. Yes, sir.
They took Devin Lloyd, which is it's a good.
I feel like they sniped New England.
Yeah,
that feels
for sure.
Very fuck you, New England kind of pick. Doesn't
Hell
it?
yeah! This is for 2017. Miles Jack wasn't down.
Yeah.
J-Mike, give us some quick thoughts there. It sounds like you didn't mind the pick. They're drawing you back in, not enough to bring you back into the grace. He sounds like he's a free agent fan as Walito is as well.
Let's go best available here coming to the end of round 1. What do you think, Robbie?
Yeah, let's do it here.
Daxton Hill is still sitting there. His over-under, by the way, was 29.5.
Okay, so we're right in the range. That's crazy.
He's right in that range. Nakobe Dean. We got Malik Willis, obviously. Devontae Wyatt, who people had drafted.
Karlaftis here. So we have Karlaftis actually going to the Packers in our mock at 28. We can get number 8 correct if they go Karlaftis. They need the edge rushing. They got rid of Zadarius Smith in free agency. So they definitely have a need at edge.
Yep. Devontae Wyatt, Andrew Booth. I'm sorry. Breece Hall, obviously. Arnold Ebiketie. You like that there, Robbie? I know.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
David Ojabo is still out there, who was probably going to be
early second.
Is he the Kansas City pick, or they go Bo Mafe? I think Kevin picked Bo Mafe for him. Ojabo went.
Yeah. So here's another really good player, especially if you need a corner.
They picked Kyler Gordon. They picked corner.
They picked McDuffie.
They did, yeah. They did. They went McDuffie here, but you have Kyler Gordon and Andrew Booth available, and they're both really good physical corners that have some size. So I feel like if they don't go late here, they're going to be trade-up candidates and go really early in the second. Karlaftis, Bo Mafe, Christian Watson, Sky Moore, Lewis. Is it Sign or Scene? I'm not sure.
Scene. Lewis.
You know more than me.
Whatever, you just pronounce them both differently. So you must be French. It doesn't matter. But he's like the hardest hitting safety in the draft. He's available. We have Travis Jones, UConn. I know you guys watch UConn football. Ritter, and then we get into Walker, etc. Trey McBride, Matt Corral. And then we got some safety. Sam Howell's still out there. Your boy Raymond is still out there. So we got some really good players. This is a really deep draft.
Yo, where's Malik finna go, bro? This is crazy.
I don't know where he fitting to go, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think we're probably looking at a second round, unless someone sneaks in right at the end to just get that 5th year option, right?
Bro, imagine Carolina or something. Does Carolina have a second?
They don't have a second. They don't have a third.
two.
Oh yeah, they
or
don't have a
three.
second or a third. They don't pick to the fourth. I remember someone talking about it.
No
Who
cap.
then? Seattle?
If
Let
not
me
you,
see.
then who?
Seattle, do it. Do it, Seattle. They have 2 seconds.
you know-
bro.
Seattle has 40 and 41, I think.
I know they got 2 seconds back to back. They could
They
do
do,
something.
and that's what I was saying. I was going through some of the trade up candidates there, and we have Seattle has 2 first-round picks. The Falcons have 43 and also 58.
Indianapolis shouldn't let Matt Ryan stop them from taking a shot on him.
Oh,
No,
for
and
sure.
Matt Ryan he's mature enough to understand that as well.
That's right.
So
That's right. Unlike Aaron
getting
Rodgers.
so, and here's the other thing. So if you're the Falcons, trading up into the first round to get Malik Willis is huge because you get that
I like
extra year. So you can listen. If Matt Ryan has 2 years left, you can have him sit there for 2 years.
I'm talking about
That's
Colts.
perfectly fine. You give him the Aaron Rodgers treatment, and then he's good to go.
Matt Ryan's not on the Falcons, man.
Huh?
Matt Ryan's not on the Falcons.
I'm sorry. No, Jesus Christ Almighty.
It's all good. What do you guys think about
Okay.
Walito's?
It's
Walito's
late,
been
it's
saying
late.
this.
Yeah, my
Walito's
bad.
been-
Mariota. But Malik
Yep.
Willis makes perfect sense because they can run the same offense and they don't have anything. I talked about this
That's
at
true.
the
That's
at
true.
their initial offensive, whatever.
That'd be fun.
I'm
That'd be
just-
fun. As a Falcons fan, I
Yeah.
like that more than trading up to get a quarterback in the
Yeah,
top
yeah.
like 5 picks or something.
What do you guys think about
Certainly smart.
Walito's thought here with Tampa taking
He's
Willis at
trolling.
33?
He's trolling.
I
Well, he's
mean,
a troll, bro.
That's all
How
he
long?
is.
How
He's
long
a troll that
are
we
you
let
gonna
stick around because he gives us money.
Nah,
think
I
he's
love
a
Walito.
troll.
I love
Yeah.
you, Walito. I'm just fucking with you.
I mean, he's got to go somewhere. He's got to go somewhere.
Little gremlin.
Love the Gremlin,
Yeah.
Gremlin.
the Northern Gremlin, right?
Yeah. Where is he? Oh,
Canada.
typical. Canadians, bro. Canadians, bro.
Is New England up? Hold the
I mean,
fuck on.
technically, I'm still a Southern guy. It's all good though.
Who the fuck is Cole Strange?
Guard.
Bro, did they reach and you spoil it?
Yeah, I just spoiled it. New England goes
That's all
Cole Strange.
Wait, we
Wait,
don't even have.
New England? I don't even see Green Bay.
Chill.
No, I know.
Why are you spoiling this?
I don't. What the shit?
Oh man, Brandon Bean said Brees Hall reports didn't come from inside Bill's building, and there was never any validity to them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Still fun, but crazy.
Okay, I'm still looking here for the Packers pick. I feel like it's Karlaftis.
Did I miss some?
Yeah, I haven't gotten
No,
it.
I don't
so-
have it yet.
I don't see it. Wait, Ari Mirov.
What?
Devontae Wyatt.
Is that it officially?
Yes.
Man,
That happened 6 minutes ago. What the hell is up with the stream? With YouTube TV, bro.
Chattanooga guard Cole Strange to New England.
They always do this, bro. I hate it. Not hate it, but like
I love it.
it's funny how they always.
What's that? What's that?
New England.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they take guard late in the first, and sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, their first round picks, if we think about it, have not always been fantastic.
I don't know, man.
Not
Like Kid
great-
Harry
not great,
could
Bob.
really be some at tight end. Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
No, I just want to bet. I had Daxton Hill over 29.5.
Nice. That's
Damn.
good. I like this pick,
That
Wally.
was-
Though I definitely think Daxton Hill. Chiefs do have a safety need. It's going to be
They should trade back.
for
They
who?
need to take the goddamn wide receiver, man.
No, trade back always. Always. If you're an NFL team, you need to embrace the fact that it's very hard, and you should be trying to get as many assets as you can. Same thing with Dynasty, obviously. It's the same mindset.
Well, the Chiefs already had like 12 goddamn picks, so they embraced it.
Trade back.
They
Yeah, I
already
can't-
did that.
They can do
Then
more.
they traded up.
Karlaftis being here, Booth being here, Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean was probably going to be a second-round guy, but Daxton Hill. There's a lot of, and then we have to talk about the wide receivers, right?
Is Nakobe Dean like one of the last of the main Georgia defenders that we were expecting to go? Oh, the safety sign, but out of the pass rushers, is Dean one of the last guys?
Correct. Yeah,
That's crazy.
They've had such a good draft class.
People expected him to go higher.
Yeah, and one other one I was going to say about the Eagles pick, passing on Hamilton
for Davis. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so you have a ton of safeties that are still left.
Yeah,
Daxton Hill has Brisker from Penn State, signed from Georgia, so they can still move up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we got to get Sky Moore drafted soon.
For real, dude. Early second, late first. What's the difference?
Who else we got? We have KC and then
Cincinnati, Minnesota.
Someone
going to trade down? Or
here's what I said earlier. Minnesota's kind of a sneaky wide receiver spot that no one's talking about. They have a ton of needs defensively, but it's Justin Jefferson, it's 31-year-old Adam Thielen, and then KJ Osborne. Like, they are a sneaky wide receiver spot.
I agree. I'd like to see him get Sky. That'd be fun. I like Thielen because he's free in Dynasty and gives me 15, 16 points per game every time he plays.
Oh man, I don't know if Cody's coming on tomorrow. He's going to take a day.
Quite the series of events. Man.
He already took a day, man.
He needs another day, maybe a week.
Mental health break.
Maybe.
And what happened to Kev, man? What happened to Kev? I thought Kev was going to be on.
Nope, haven't seen him. Who's that? Never heard of him.
Dad.
Where's
obligations. My dad?
Other obligations.
Where's my dad?
Mood.
So I gotta tell you guys a story. So I was at the zoo the other day.
You are the zoo. You bring the zoo.
Huh?
You bring the zoo wherever you go. You are the zoo.
I am. However, I went to the Philadelphia Zoo, which is a very nice zoo, by the way. Okay. And I'm sitting there, and we've gone through a little bit, and we're at the rhinoceros and zebra enclosure, and they're in there together, right? So we're sitting there, and we're like, all right, this is a nice spot to eat lunch. So we sit down, and there's benches, and we eat lunch, and we're watching the rhino just, roam around like a rhino does. And then the rhino starts backing up like into this little enclosure, like it's got his reverse like things on. So he starts backing up and he goes over. And like there's like 4, maybe 12 to 14-year-old girls, and they're walking up, and this one girl goes, "The rhino's leaving, just like my dad." And dude, I choked on my sandwich. I was dying.
Bro, y'all see the Chiefs pick?
Not yet. Receiver, right?
I'm still waiting on New England's, who I think we spoiled here, but with a little bit of a reach. But
bro, why is the NFL Network so behind, bro?
He's leaving just like my dad.
Wow, dude.
I love that. That's too funny.
I swear, dude.
I'm switching to ABC. I'm switching to ESPN. They're all behind. So it's just Twitter that's that far ahead.
Yeah, it's the Twitter machine. Dude, when you look at like second and third round draft picks, they're like a good 25 minutes ahead.
Yeah.
What?
On Twitter. So if you're watching the draft versus on Twitter in like the second, third round, like etc.
Yeah.
They basically in the first round, like Schefter and Rappaport are like, all right, we're not going to tip picks. And then it doesn't even matter after the first round. They're just like, yep, yep. As soon as it's done and they know that it's in. And it's 20 to 25 minutes ahead. So they're on pick like 44 on TV, and you already know what pick 49 is.
So
crazy though.
J-Mike is asking what this draft has told us about what the NFL thinks about some of these players.
And I think go crazy, bro.
Right. And I've been saying, I think this wide receiver class, it's not going to have your top end Jamar Chase, Waddle, but I love this class compared to 2020, 2021. I think the depth is fantastic. I think the upper tier is fantastic. And I think we saw that from everybody trading up to get them. And then on the flip side, I think quarterback, right? We go back again, we said it a couple of times, 2013 draft, only one quarterback in the first round, EJ Manuel. Then it was Geno Smith, the only quarterback in the second round, Mike Glennon, Matt Barkley, Ryan Nassib. Like, it seems like we're following that type of quarterback class, which ended up being a bunch of busts. It feels like that's what the NFL is telling us, is that they don't value this quarterback class how you should value most quarterbacks as the most important position.
Definitely. When you have all these guys going to the second round, bro.
Yeah, I think it's
not like over, but like, come on, it's over.
Yeah, Cody sums it up much better than I did. Cheeks, booty, butt slime is what he says.
Cody, my boy. Take a mental break. You clearly not right.
Butt slime.
Look at all these Patriots fans clapping, bro. They don't know who Cole Strange is.
Yeah.
Like it's a white receiver, right? That's what we took?
Yeah. Can you convert him? Can he run routes? Can we teach him?
He was a quarterback before at first, right? No? Yes?
Never mind. Maybe another time. What?
Man, so we're still going to probably have Breece. Like, I don't think it really matters where Breece goes as long as it's kind of this early second. We're still going to have him kind of at the top. We have the 5 wide receivers. Maybe if the Chiefs take one here, then we'd add a 6th, right? I don't know. And then it kind of opens up, right? Would you guys say the draft opens up to, are you taking Pickett there? Are you taking Dotson, I guess, is in that conversation. Are you taking Kenneth Walker if he has a good landing spot? I think we're getting close to talking about Dotson not being in the second anymore. Maybe he's in that first because I'm running out of guys, right? We're not taking Trey McBride at that point, are we? Like, we're running out of names.
Hell of a pick for the Chiefs, bro. Hell of a pick.
I've not seen it yet. I'm going to guess it's a wide receiver, but
it's Karlaftis.
You spoiled it for him?
No, and they already made the pick on the TV, man.
All right.
Get it together.
No, Robbie didn't see it yet.
It's all good. They're making it now. So Karlaftis is
a hell of a pick there.
They have need. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked we didn't see the wide receiver run in the back end of the first.
Yeah, we saw it in the mid first, and it was kind of like move up if you want them because they're coming off.
Yeah, you didn't have any left for the end of the first.
Right. Well, you still have Watson. I'm surprised that Watson or Pickens or Sky Moore didn't get forced into the first.
Nah, I'm not surprised because these teams will have their evaluations and they're not going to panic they're not going to overly panic. Some teams do panic, but just because all those guys went in the mid first, they're not going to be like, okay, we had Sky Moore and Watson and Pickens as early seconds, but we're gonna trade all the way up to 20 or 22 or something to pick them. Or like they
didn't even have to trade up. They just, like the Packers and the Chiefs, just could have sat there and take them, and they
didn't have that. I guess they didn't have them graded like that. They didn't evaluate them like that. So it's just like telling them
that's
more
like
early second round talents. It's all right. We still like early second round wide receivers.
Right. No, I'm more surprised at the and kind of sad that we might not get Pickens or Sky Moore or
they're still the Vikings. They're still the Vikings, right?
Yeah, Jack's not. First round.
Yeah, but that does it really get you super excited?
I just want to see Malik go, bro. Otherwise, he's a second rounder, and that just makes me sad.
Man, who are the Bengals going?
I think you're gonna be sad, bro.
I think so too. I think it's writings on the wall, not for him as a player, just as his draft capital.
In the bathroom.
Bengals need D-line. They need linebacker. Are they going linebacker? Who we got? Dean.
They should trade down. Yeah, hell yeah.
Man, they could use Nakobe Dean. Their linebacking.
They could use a trade down.
They can use Dax Hill too. Baby.
Dax Hill for sure. They got Jesse Bates.
I honestly can't believe Dax Hill's still there.
Oh, they got Von Bell and Jesse Bates. I don't know if they go safety there.
They don't need safety. I mean, you had Hills under over like what 29.5.
Yeah. So
and they're at 31 isn't a huge surprise. It's just how
I'm just saying, like good teams draft players right before they have that huge hole there. So it's a seamless transference. So I think Dax Hill, I am the best player available. So
Yeah, Andrew Booth is interesting, J. Mike. Obviously, the hot and cold Eli Apple, right? All bark, sometimes no bite, I think is probably replaceable. And then you have former Cowboy Awuzie Chidobe on the other side. So I don't know if cornerback's the biggest need, but they can add to that room for sure. Yeah, Booth's fallen. I can see it. But man, they need D-line. Ajabo, Boya Mafe. Is Mafe going to get drafted here? Devin Lloyd. They need linebacker too.
Bengals pick.
Give me Lloyd. Give me Lloyd or Mafe here.
I see it. I see the pick. At this point, I don't even care. I'm just looking it up.
Yeah. Eli Apple, man, that was such a. I mean, he was toast. Like he was the guy you wanted to match people. Oh yeah, good call with Lloyd. I did forget to take him off there. It was Dean. Sorry, I meant to be saying Nakobe Dean. Apple was consistently just toast, and you wanted to find your wide receiver matched up against him each and every week, and then got a little hype in the playoff run, right? But I think he's definitely replaceable. So you guys all know the Bengals pick. I'm still trying to figure it out. J. Mike, the local-ish team for you, right? The former love before the Jags. Who are they going?
I don't know. I think Dax Hill. That's my guess.
Bro, McVay on a stream says about the Pats pick. We wasted our time thinking he'd be there at 104.
Who?
No.
The Pats guy.
For who?
So strange.
Who?
That's not funny, bro.
That's just straight. I'm really upset we didn't win the Super Bowl against them a couple of years ago. Like, just
roast their pick right there.
The fourth round.
J. Mike, we were all Bengals fans in the Kamikaze chat this year. Everyone except for Berg. I think one other was it Shum? Is Berg and one other? No, Clint. Clint and Shum, or Clint and Berg were the only two on the Rams side.
I can't believe you said that shit. We wasted our time looking at him in the fourth. Who says that?
Yep. That's brutal.
Oh, man.
I mean, he was mocked in the second, kind of late second area. I think Cowboys were taking, if they didn't go guard right away, they were taking Cole Strange in the early or late second, trading up early third.
Yep.
But man, first, Patriots do Patriots things.
Oh my, UT Chattanooga to the first round. Hey, where is... How about that? And we wasted our time watching him thinking he'd be at 104.
Oh, goodness. That's brutal.
That is hilarious.
Savage.
Man, I'm still waiting on this pick. This is forever. They're just stretching this, trying to get it to 11. Well, 11 my time. Midnight on the East Coast for y'all.
No way, dude. That's crazy.
So mad.
Yep.
I can't believe he did that. He's dude, they're just out there chilling. They don't have any picks. They won the Super Bowl. They give zero fucks.
Walk with a little swag, talk with a little swag. You've done it all.
They just don't even care anymore. They're just like, whatever.
When is their first pick?
You know, picks don't matter.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter to them when they got one.
Man.
Oh man.
Let's see.
Akash.
Hi, friends.
They've
Oh.
got,
What are you studying?
Mechanical engineering.
A what?
Mechanical engineering.
I knew it.
their first pick is
You
round
want to see a
3.
box I built? I built this.
Yeah.
Jackson Hill. That's
I
nailed
built
it.
this.
You built a
pretty cool.
box?
Yeah, it tells the temperature, and if it goes over a certain temperature, it beeps.
That's called a thermostat, bro.
I know.
have
That's
those.
our project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
our
good.
project.
That's
I
good.
have them on the wall upstairs. They're all over.
I mean,
Can you make one, Tom? Then shut up.
I didn't go to school to make one.
You don't teach
to
engineers by making them invent stuff that hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah, be better. Come on. I've heard of a thermostat, bro.
Can you make one?
No, I can blow it up though.
Can you make one?
I can teach you math. I can teach
No,
you English.
I don't know. Not English. No. We got to work on the pronunciation of names.
Dude, I have a master's degree and I'm a Marine. I'm a fucking unicorn.
Hey, nice call. Nice call with Dax Hill. That's a really good call.
And I know football every now and again.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You know ball. Hell.
I know ball. I can blow shit up, and I have a master's degree. So
sounds like the prototypical Philadelphia citizen.
Oh,
you know
man,
what?
can
I'll take
we
it.
get a wide receiver?
If we were all like me, oh my God, he shows up.
Can we get a wide receiver here? What up,
El
Kev Still?
Teverino, what's up, buddy? How do you feel about your wide receiver depth chart?
It's all right. I think there's still some pretty good wide receivers left. So
oh yeah, he's still excited about two of them for sure.
The Chiefs had the 50th pick in the second round, so they can move up if they need to.
I don't like your tone.
I like
I
it.
appreciate it.
But what I will say is I absolutely hate just about every landing spot for every wide receiver that's gone.
Landing spot doesn't matter. Hashtag.
They're not great. I think that's the first thing I noticed. It's not like, wow, this is fantastic. Great quarterback, no questions. Like, we didn't see the Packers. We didn't see the Chiefs, right? And that's what we were waiting on with two of those guys. There's a lot of the Commanders, the Saints, I'm blanking on some of these Jets, right? So it kind of keeps everybody where you had them pre-draft. And some people argue you should do that. But it really didn't shuffle the board a whole lot.
So, Kev, can you rank the wide receivers that have been moved or drafted tonight? You can include A.J. Brown and Hollywood and the rookies.
Love it for Hollywood. I think that was the best move tonight, was them getting Hollywood Brown. They absolutely needed that. Obviously he already has the built-in rapport with Kyler Murray as well, so that's obviously good news. But the A.J. Brown pick I actually like a lot too, for the Eagles, and I felt like that it was a good move for them. Obviously now there's no excuses whatsoever for Jalen Hurts to make any excuses anymore, because that's one of the better offenses now in the league with A.J. Brown and Devonta and
for real.
So love the offense.
Apparently that escalated really quickly.
You onto something, man. Hell yeah.
And so love that. And then, but as far as the rookies, like there hasn't been one where I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. Like I'm like James Williams to the Lions. I'm like, all right, cool. Like Jared Goff has supported multiple wide receivers before. So, but there's so many players there. I mean, not just DeAndre Swift or Hawkinson, but you also have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They also signed DJ Chark. So where are the targets coming from? And an offense that wants to run the ball. So that's not great. Drake London with Marcus Mariota. Okay, cool. Maybe I think for future years.
Vacated targets.
Sure, but Marcus Mariota also sucks. He's a terrible quarterback. It's not nothing to be excited about.
Things that cancel other things.
They're all very short term, right? Chark short term.
Sure.
I wasn't really listening to them arguing
for
with
Drake
someone on Twitter.
I guess I'm
Mariota short term,
he's redraft.
When you evaluating these rookies,
yeah, I'm just talking about 2022. Because right now, I don't know who the quarterback for the Falcons is going to be in the future and stuff like that.
Yeah, for Dynasty, we're so bad at predicting even a year out, 2-3 years out. It's nearly impossible to know volume, quarterback, teammates. So you can't really rely landing spot for Dynasty. I'm not focused on at all.
Right, I'm
for
more
redraft.
On,
I get it.
I'm just more focused on this this year for right now because a lot of the spots are so fluid. John Dotson with the Commanders.
What the fuck?
Whatever. Like Carson Wentz, can't make one wide receiver fantasy, hardly fantasy relevant, let alone multiple. And so that's tough. Garrett Wilson, I feel like it's a real redundant asset for what the Jets already have, and Elijah Moore. They're kind of similar players and similar archetypes of wide receivers.
But
so that one's tough.
So how do you feel about that one for Zach Wilson, though?
I think it's. I think in terms of just the whole draft, the Jets have absolutely slayed this draft. Like getting Jermaine Johnson, where they trade back up. I was shocked he fell where he did. Sauce Gardner, like they have done an excellent job with this draft. Like the Jets, if you're a Jets fan, you should be thrilled because they have absolutely killed it. And so, for Zach Wilson, I think it's good. They're surrounding him with weapons. The offensive line, I think, is good. And so, Lewis Seaton.
Going back to
Vikings
wide receiver.
Damn.
So
no trade back.
Treylon Burks is one guy you didn't really. So Treylon Burks is
the Treylon burn picks. Again, where are the targets? Because this is an offense that wants to run the football, and there's not a whole lot of people there. But the tough part, AJ Brown had to always win off efficiency. That was where he became relevant because he was so damn efficient with his targets and yards after the catch and everything else. And of course, it's kind of funny that Treylon Burks goes to the place where a lot of people were comping him was the next AJ Brown, and now he's taking over for AJ Brown.
Yep.
So I think that's good. That's kind of funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
J-Mike made that point. Yep.
But again, I mean, you could maybe make an argument. Maybe he's in the best situation with Ryan Tannehill because there's really, the ghost of Robert Woods is going to be there. And, who else? Westbrook.
Des Fitzpatrick. Hey, I think what's really interesting
as a fourth, fifth.
Tom, we haven't talked about the fantasy implication of AJ Brown going there for the other pass catchers, right? Because Jalen Hurts, we're not talking about a huge amount of attempts, and we're talking about Dallas Goedert, we're talking about Devonta Smith, and now AJ Brown. That kind of sucks for all three, wouldn't you say, or do you have other thoughts?
Yeah, so it's weird because you look at the GM and you look at the owner and they run that franchise. I don't care what the coach has to say. They're going to coach the way that they want them to play. So Sirianni wanted to go pass heavy early on to see what Jalen Hurts had, etc. And then they shifted to a run-based offense for Jalen Hurts. I don't know what the offense is going to look like now with A.J. Brown, tell you the truth. Like, you think, okay, the targets are going to be there. They're going to run a lot. I don't know, man, because they might just say, okay, let's see if Jalen can chuck it. I don't know. It might be more of a 55-45 split.
There's way too many weapons there for them just to continue to try to run the ball.
Right.
And all this stuff. They have to. You have to figure out exactly what you have in Jalen Hurts so you can move forward.
You do,
because there's a very strong possibility that pick that they got from the Saints is end up going to be a top 10 pick next year.
Yes, and when they switched over, essentially they were 2-6 or 2-7, and they were passing the ball a lot. And then they said, okay, we're going to run the ball, and they went to a run-based offense.
Yeah.
Now, basically, their schedule was trash, etc., etc., etc. The narrative, but they went to that run-based offense and they won games. So I'll be really interested. I don't know what to expect out of Sirianni's offense, and I don't think the league knows either. So I think that's an advantage for the Eagles as far as whether or not they're going to win. I think in Dynasty, you invest in the position players. I don't know if I'm going to invest in Jalen Hurts unless I'm a win-now team. Redraft Jalen Hurts to the fucking moon. Jesus. Like, he's probably a top 6 quarterback. Easy with those weapons and the running game and the yardage he's going to wind up getting on the ground. Like, I just
right off the rip. Or go ahead. Sorry.
It's really tough to read, like, because they have those two first round picks. They have the insurance essentially for if Jalen Hurts isn't that good, and they're going to know early on if he's not the guy. And they're going to shift to something to win. I feel like we're going to see something next year early to say, okay, this is the offense we want to run in the future. And if he can't run it, he's gone.
Yeah, right.
Bye, guys. I'm going to head out.
All right. Appreciate you jumping on with us, man.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
you. No cap.
He's going to bed. He's going to bed. Yep.
Nice whippersnapper.
Tom's going to bed, yeah.
I'm not going to bed.
I'm awake, man. I can't sleep for like 4 days.
Yeah. So
I'll be up.
What I feel like I'm trying not to fall into later, man. What I'm trying not to fall in the trap is the AJ Brown thing that I did when he was drafted to Tennessee, right? Kev, you just made kind of that comment with Treylon Burks. You don't love the landing spot, where the target's coming from. I did that with AJ Brown, and it cost me because I loved the prospect, had him as wide receiver 2. Then he had that landing spot. I was like, this is a run first team. They already have Corey Davis there. Don't love it. It almost feels like I'm doing that again to AJ Brown because he lands in just a crowded offense with not a ton of volume passing wise. So I love how you guys say, hey, they're going to have to increase the volumes. They have too many playmakers. But at some point, someone's not going to reach their ceiling, right? Either Dallas Goedert is not going to be the tight end 5, or Devonta Smith is not going to be the wide receiver 20, or AJ Brown is not going to be the wide receiver 8, right? There's going to be a decrease somewhere. And I'm not sure where I fall with it, but I'm trying not to fall into that trap again.
I feel like Goddard takes the biggest hit.
Well, see, but the thing is, though, with tight ends, obviously, as we know, that they don't need as much to be able to be a top 5, top 6 tight end, right?
Right.
Like, they doesn't really need as much. So that doesn't concern me as much. And I think between the two, AJ Brown and Devonta, I think it's Devonta Smith that would take the biggest hit to AJ Brown.
Yep.
But they have, like I said, though, I think the biggest thing here is going to be volume and how much volume we see of an increase from last year, because there were a lot of games where he barely threw the ball, and it was like super tilting if you owned any Eagle because they would rarely throw the ball
until the 4th, and then he saved you in the 4th quarter over and over and over.
Yeah, and so with that, but I liked it. I think it could be good for AJ Brown. So I love the move. The Eagles getting aggressive. Made me wonder why the other teams didn't do it, but like the Chiefs would have loved to have seen it. But it is what it is. But it also, they're going to have to pay him next year, and so
that's the big thing, man. Because if you trade away Tyreek because you don't want to pay him, and then you trade for AJ and pay him,
paid him, by the way, paid him.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Which makes sense because they have Jalen Hurts on the rookie deal, so they don't have that cost, and so
that's something everyone has to consider is you have Jalen Hurts on a rookie deal, and if he doesn't work out, you're probably going to have another quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
So
I will say this though, something we haven't talked about yet. One of the worst draft picks in this draft has been the Kenny Pickett to the Steelers pick. I think that is just a catastrophic failure to take. I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be good at all in the NFL, and it's not just his small hands. It's that that he's a 5th-year player out of Pitt. Like, it's not like he was buried. It's not like it was a Joe Burrow type thing where he's buried on a depth chart on just an amazing offense or amazing Power 5 team. Like he was stuck on Alabama or LSU or something like that where he just couldn't get past that guy. So that made sense. But like, this is the guy that was on Pitt that it took him until his 5th year as he's 23, 24 years old to break out. Like, I just think it's just a terrible pick. I get it's pick 20, and so it's not like you invested like a top 5 pick into any Kenny Pickett. But when you have Malik Willis sitting on the board, you take Malik Willis because Malik Willis' ceiling is so much higher than Kenny Pickett's is. Kenny Pickett, best case scenario, is probably like a Jared Goff type career arc, where that maybe he has a couple relevant seasons or whatever. I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that's ever going to be considered elite or even a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. Again, I get it. We take these shots on quarterbacks, because you can keep doing it year after year. But it just makes no sense. He's not an upgrade over what they have now on that roster, I don't think. And I just hated the pick. Like, if Malik Willis is sitting there, you take that guy, see what you can do with him. Mike Tomlin has been one of the best coaches, we've seen over the last 10, 15 years. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing, Pittsburgh? Like, you have Malik Willis sitting there with at the very least, what he can give you with his running ability can make up for some other things as well. But I just hated the Kenny Pickett move. I thought it was the worst pick. Like, it's just terrible. I know that they didn't have to trade up or anything to pick 20, but like, it's I don't know. I just don't love it.
So we talk about draft capital. How far is Willis going to fall for people because he's probably going to be a 2nd-round pick?
Probably, yeah, for sure. Right?
Not to mention the rest of the guys. It's not even just Malik Willis. I think it's possible a team could trade up because if you look at so Seattle's comes up, in the second round, they very well could take them there, and then they look kind of genius for doing it, for being able to get them in the second round, not taking them ninth where everybody had them projected. But as we've said, through this whole entire process, none of these quarterbacks were really worth a top 10 pick. None of them were, and there was no use to. And I like that none of these teams took that shot and said, "Okay, we're just going to take it," right? I think it ends up working out that way.
So Vegas had the over/under for quarterbacks taken in round 1 as 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about that when we did that show, and I think I said under.
We did. Yeah, we did. We all said under.
Well, but 3.5.
Ones where it's 3.5 is a lot.
I could see 3, right? I think we picked 3 because I took Corral at 32 for the Lions. We had so many trades that it just threw everything in whack, right? So many trades, which we knew was going to happen. We just didn't know it was that amount. But yeah, to see them fall, just to touch on Kenny Pickett, because I think Kevin made a lot of good points. What's interesting about your Jared Goff comp is because I can see that being the situation where you have a good coach that's been there for a while, has produced good offenses, right? Matt Canada, they're throwing the ball an absolute ton. Who can come in and at least be serviceable year one, where I think Malik Willis has a little bit more seasoning to do. You got to remember, Jared Goff was a fantastic fantasy option his second and third year. Wasn't his first year, but he was a really, really good fantasy quarterback year 3 specifically, if I remember correctly. 30-some touchdowns, had 4,000 yards, whatever it was. So I definitely can agree with the comp, but I don't think it means a non-fantasy factor. Maybe we're talking more dynasty here than redraft, right? But he's got the weapons. He's got Najee. He's got Claypool. He's got Deontay Johnson. They're probably going to add another wide receiver, right? They got Freiermuth. I think
offensively. Does he start this year, though? Does he start this year? Do you think he does? Do you think he's – I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he beats out Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, that's a good point. I definitely think it's a quarterback battle. But if there's anybody who's going to be ready to start at the NFL week 1 out of these rookie quarterbacks, I do think it's Pickett and Corral is a close second.
Yeah, I guess. And, if it doesn't work out and they look at him and they see, it doesn't end up being as big of a failure. We've seen a lot of teams move on even from first-round picks quickly. And, it is 20. And so, it is what it is at this point. But I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, oh, great. This. Good right. For Mitch. Good for people with Mitch Trubisky shares for this year.
Time to insult Cody. Yes. I love it, my friend.
That was my immediate thoughts. I wonder how Cody feels about this. I wonder what he's saying right now.
Not great, Bob.
And as you're
I don't know if you guys talked
reaching
about this.
For a box of tissues.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if you guys talked about this either. But the Packers once again don't take a wide receiver, and their picks were good. The players they got, I like it. But it's when are you going to surround Aaron Rodgers ever with talent, with that wide receiver, right? I know they had Devontae Adams, but that was, not a first round pick. And I get it. There are still some good wide receivers sitting out there, obviously, that they could move up and get if they wanted to. Sky Moore is still sitting out there. Some people thought he was going to go in the first round. Christian Watson, George Pickens. There's still some wide receivers that they could come up and get, but I don't know. I'm why are we not taking a wide receiver? What are we doing here? You have such a short window of time with Aaron Rodgers now, 3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe depending on how long he decides to play for. And you're not you traded Devontae Adams. Okay, now what are we doing? What are you doing? Are you really going to go into the season? Because now, if they don't, because it's possible that these remaining wide receivers could go very quickly in the second round and they don't get any of them. And now you're staring down the barrel of a guy that's probably more of a developmental wide receiver. Now, yes, having Aaron Rodgers, he can elevate some of that with some of these guys, but maybe you're looking at a, Jalen Tolbert or something like that, or Calvin Austin or David Bell, or, something like that. Robbie would just go 6 to midnight if they drafted David Bell, and he was their wide receiver.
He's been mocked to them. We've seen it done before. Hey, they have 2 second-round picks. We got to remember they got the extra first, the extra second. Maybe they have an extra third as well. So they absolutely, you were talking about the Chiefs trading up, who has equal capital, if not more, to trade up to get that wide receiver, and probably even more of a need if we talk about their wide receiver room. I think it's the Packers. And you talk about Pickens, you talk about Moore. those are probably two names that I can absolutely see them targeting early day 2. So I don't think the book is written, but yeah, as of right now, you have to comment on it that they have Watkins, Lazard, end of list.
It's wheels up. I mean, it's wheels up next year for Alan Lazard. I mean, it is absolutely. I am so excited to see where his
Tunyon
lands.
You were preaching a little Tunyon love the other day. You're saying no one's talking about him, right? So
yeah, I mean, they brought him back. So yeah, I mean, it's but yeah, I think it's wheels up for him. So there's still some some good wide receivers that are left out there. None of the running backs have been picked. Breece Hall, and it's going to be interesting where they land, and Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, guys like that. Where are they going to end up? And no tight end, obviously, either. And then all the quarterbacks that have yet to be picked. But I mean, it's not even that. Like, there's some players that a lot of people were mocking. Nakobe Dean was kind of somebody that people were looking at possibly in the back end of the first. Andrew Booth was a guy that people had mocked there in the first round. David Ojabo is still sitting out there. Kyler Gordon was a guy that people had going in the first round. So there's still some really good talent that's sitting out there right now.
Yep.
Well, I think this draft, one thing people looked at was there's not a huge difference between like 25 and 60.
Super deep. It's not like top heavy with like elite guys, but it's super deep with a lot of like good players, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love this draft.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, man. God damn it.
He had a great draft day. He got up, he sprinted around, he emptied out the vino.
I wish I was here whenever the trade was announced for AJ Brown to see your response to that.
Oh, it was great.
Just go back. Like I was like, I went up and apologized to my wife, and she said, "Uh-huh."
It was at that moment we knew he would not fall asleep at the end of the stream. We knew.
No, I'm gonna be really tired tomorrow because I haven't slept at all tonight.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth it. It's the NFL draft,
man.
Right?
So this is like what you like as a fan. This is like these are days that you want. I have days the last couple of years of remembering Jalen Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson when everyone knew it was wrong. And then they go ahead and
I don't know if everybody knew it at the time. There were a lot of people that loved.
No, listen. At the time,
I liked Jalen Reagor a ton when he was coming out.
Same.
That's fine.
So it's easy.
But at the time,
it's easy to play revisionist history and look back at it and say how terrible it was. But at the time that the pick happened, it wasn't like this. Oh my God, they took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Like that was really. I mean, there was probably some people that had that take. But like for the most part, there were still people that were like, okay, love Jalen Reagor, great spot.
So here's the deal: when you see the pick, and you're like, okay, that's fine, and then you see like Howie quoting like PFF things, like, well, he plays in the slot, he's a slot receiver. We needed an outside guy to go out there because he played 93% of his snaps in the slot, and you're just like, dude. He just ran a 4.41. Like he can play on the outside. They just utilized him on the inside because you had fucking Jamar Chase and it didn't matter. Like you just move him around to get a positional like. So it was bad that way, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna like destroy the DK pick because it was. You shouldn't have taken JJ to replace Alshon. You should have taken either McLaurin or DK to replace Deshaun Jackson. That was the issue with that pick. But I digress.
It was much more egregious when the Chiefs took McCole Hardman because the McCole Hardman pick happened, it literally like everybody was like, "What?"
Yes,
like
that was bad too.
Looked him up. Literally.
With
Hold
DK
on, Google.
Metcalf still sitting there.
Google me.
Yeah. So and I will say it was funny whenever the Chiefs picked George Karlaftis because like I had just gotten home at that point and my boy was still up and like I was telling him, oh, it'd be awesome if we took George Pickens. And so he's like, yeah, George Pickens. So when they made the announcement, they said George. He started jumping. Yeah, let's go. And he didn't even hear the Karlaftis part. And I was like, hey, you're excited for George Karlaftis?
Hey,
like, what?
Hey, that's
you're like, yes,
not the pick you wanted, but that's a good pick.
So you gonna be on tomorrow, Kev?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think with my work, it was a crazy night. Work from 7 a.m. till almost 10 o'clock at night. But I should be on for the whole thing, I think.
All right. I will be on later, around the same time tonight, 8:15. We'll see. Robbie, you tomorrow?
We moved baseball up because of the weather. So yeah, it should maybe not right away, but we'll be pretty close to the start.
Cotorino?
I think he's in. He's in for day 2.
Good.
Is J Mike going to be on? I mean, he's in the chat. I love having J Mike here, but I have never, I don't think ever been on a show with J Mike ever. And
do we fix that?
It's frustrating.
Do we fix that tomorrow?
He is always welcome. The floor is always there for him.
He's fantastic. He's so smooth too. He's just like, you know what? The Jaguars made a horrible pick. I think they should basically die all of a sudden.
I've always said he is the Morgan Freeman of the fantasy community. Like his voice.
He is like the smoothest motherfucker I've ever met in the community. It's just like, you know what? I feel like AIDS should happen to the entire Jaguars offense. It's perfectly fine.
That is a terrible. It
is the worst. The worst.
You did his voice absolutely no justice.
He was like, you know what? Dibba. I don't know.
He's booked. He's booked.
AJ Brown. We got AJ Brown.
Big time in me. He's big time in me. He's big time in me.
Oh, the dummies.
The dummies have fantastic day 2 coverage. Always talking about all these fantasy guys that we didn't see go in round 1. They see them go on day 2, rounds 2 and 3. So understandable.
But I do believe Ryan Williams is going to be on tomorrow, so he should be back with us.
Yes, can't wait, man.
And Maddie, I think Maddie might jump on.
Hey, look at Walito right on script. Look at that.
Yep, maybe he has access to my DMs. And
he's been calling all of these things early. I don't know what kind of Canadian vision he had, but he was calling all these picks. He had them before we had him on the streams on the Twitter. He was our breaking news guy.
So they're calling him Vision.
Yep. Yeah. All right, guys. Anything else that we need to wrap up? Or are we getting out of here and starting tomorrow?
One thing I'll say is, I think this was a very fun draft. I mean, with the trades that happened, normally you don't see guys like AJ Brown and Marquise, Hollywood getting dealt in a draft. So that's been awesome. This has been absolutely one of the craziest off seasons we've ever seen with the draft, with all the moves that have happened, everything that's been shook up within the NFL, which is why it just makes the NFL so fantastic. To be honest with you, why no sport can ever compete with it. But there's so many, like I said, there's so many good players left to be drafted tomorrow. A lot of there's going to be a lot more guys to go. So looking forward to that. And, fuck the Lions for taking Jameson Williams. I was so upset because every pick that started going, this is where the wide receivers are going to start going. Please let me hear trade up. And you had the 3 picks. They had 3 trades in a row. And I'm like, oh, Kansas City? No, fuck me. Okay. And I did not expect the Lions to take Jameson Williams. I did not see them to trade that far up to take Jameson Williams. Love Jameson Williams. I think it could end up being a home run long term because I love Jameson Williams. I think he is going to end up being the best wide receiver in this class. But I was shocked that the Lions traded up that far.
It was upsetting.
Yes, I was tilted. I was very tilted. But, I was like, okay, it is what it is. George Pickens. I have been on George Pickens since the beginning. Since I've watched him, since I've seen him, I was like, oh my God, this is my guy. He's got that big dick energy. And so I'm all about George Pickens. So hopefully the Chiefs can correct that tomorrow. Or Sky Moore. Either one of those, I'd be happy. With that, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yep. A lot of good takes coming from Kev Steele. Cody Kutz are going to be on. Tom's making an appearance. We've got Ryan, Maddie. I think we've got a bunch of other special guests jumping on. It might get a little wild tomorrow, so make sure you guys are tuning in. We're going to be live 6 Central, 7 Eastern, I believe is when we're starting. So, yeah, for the rest of the group, we're going to catch you guys tomorrow. Stay with us.